So all runners are going to start here with Cutman. It's pretty much a standard route. Anybody that's doing serious attempts at this game is going to start here. It's a pretty easy stage to clear with the Buster, and it allows you to get the Magnet Beam early on, which you'll get in the Electman stage.
Yeah, the route used to begin with Gutsman, but a trick was found, like Fast said, to be able to acquire the Magnet Beam early, and as you'll see later in the run, the Magnet Beam is really the key to making the speedrun really quick. So it is beneficial to start with Cutman, as well as the fact that he's just an easy Robot Master to Buster, so you don't lose a ton of time by using the Buster over his actual weakness. And there are really only a few tricks and glitches in this stage besides, just good movement. One of which is called the Select trick you might see, which is a trick where you can reset hitboxes by pressing the Select or the Pause button and then unpausing quickly. And this resets enemy hitboxes as well as your own, and it also resets your momentum. It cancels knockback. So this is a good way to be able to maneuver the stage quickly and take damage. And then the other trick you'll see is the screen wrap, because NES screens wrap vertically, and so you can grab ladders at the bottom of the screen from the top of the screen if there's a cutoff.
There's a little bit of randomness involved in Cutman stage. It can cost you a second or two, but mostly the run is not going to be the race is not going to be decided here. You'll see people get times ranging from 2:13 to 2:15 mostly, unless they mess up something major. You see the screen wrap there that Adef was talking about.
And then moving into the fight here, you're probably not going to be seeing the Select trick, because with Cutman, it's essentially about the same speed to just go ahead and Buster him and time your shots and place them correctly so as to keep him on the ground, and also avoiding his shots as well. So this is a pretty, the kind of fight that you see people drill a lot until they get it down, and then after that it's pretty simple.
Yeah, these fights are actually pretty much frame perfect, because as soon as he comes out of invincibility frames, there's a bullet overlapping his hitbox, and it'll hit him as soon as he comes out. So, everybody's fight should look pretty much the same.
So it looks like coming out of Cutman, it's something to the effect of Cool Kid, ND, and then Dexter and White Hat are just about a half second behind, maybe something. Oh no, it actually looks like they're all right about the same, with White Hat trailing by about a second.
Yeah, not a lot of separation in Cut, but Elec is where you'll start to see, execution really start to separate by, a couple seconds or more.
Yeah, and this stage is
second screen
quite
here.
The climb. Yeah, Cool Kid using a really cool Buster strat on those two sliding enemies.
Saves about a half second to not have to take the damage boost there.
And this stage, in this stage, not only ammo, but as well as health are pretty important, because there is a big eye at the end of this stage that can randomly either jump high or low and take 10 damage from you. So that's pretty difficult. Also, coming up is early Magnet Beam. This is the trick we were talking about. And what this is you press B and down at the exact same frame for one frame on a ladder. And this allows you to grab the top of it. And then what you can do is turn to the left and zip through the ceiling. And once you've zipped through the ceiling, you're sort of in this weird state on the edges of the border of the game. And then you can maneuver out there and try to get the Magnet Beam by getting into the little box without actually going fully in, but just touching it without leaving the wall. If you leave the wall, you soft lock the game, so hopefully none of the runners do that. It's a very difficult trick, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, the soft lock being a particular problem in Mega Man 1 because there's no passwords. You would have to start from the very beginning.
So Endy's got it, White Hat's got it, Cool Kid's got it, and Dexter's got it as well. So all four runners getting the Magnet Beam without fail.
This is one of those stages you just want to survive in a race.
Yeah, for sure. Because although there definitely is some movement tech with the Magnet Beam here that you're going to begin to see where you can use it as a platform, at the same time, it's sort of the idea that once you're through the Magnet Beam, you sort of just want to get out of this stage, because the real time save comes in the later ones.
Yeah, we're going to use this Magnet Beam in later stages to zip, which is the fastest form of movement in this game. And each full zip you do saves about 3 seconds. So that's where, every made zip you get can save you quite a lot of time.
And in this corridor up to Electman here, you see some pretty crazy usage of the Magnet Beam. it just kind of separates the men from the boys, so to speak. Your Magnet Beam tech can really show off what kind of a player you are, and all 4 of these players going for the really difficult strats here. So coming up in Iceman, you're going to start to see zips, like Facet CC was saying. Essentially what's going on there is if you use the Magnet Beam a certain amount of pixels from the ceiling or from a ceiling, you then jump on it and turn left, and what happens is the game is trying to zip you out, like happens in a lot of classic NES games. And the idea is that the ceiling's trying to push you out, and so it zips you very, very quickly to the right. And you can actually use the physical ceiling of the game itself, and how this works is the game thinks you are in the floor, because as we mentioned before, the game wraps vertically. So in Iceman, you'll probably see them wrap through the bottom of the screen and come out on the screen below at the very top. And this will allow them to do a wrap, which is where you're able to sort of zip to the top and then place another Magnet Beam and skip several screens and sometimes unload enemies. So very cool. Very cool strat.
So, all three of them got the zip on the first screen. Endy did not. Endy has a little bit of trouble here with his Magnet Beam. He has one of them left. He's going to need to use that to get to the refill in the middle of the screen.
Ooh, and he actually died there, so he's going to be sent back to the first room with the slider, and that's going to be difficult because now he has to maneuver the pit room with no Magnet Beams until he gets to the center platform.
The other 3 runners all get the wrap at the end of the stage as well, so, still very tight between the other 3 runners.
And coming up here, they also go for more zips in the corridor. These are hence named corridor zips. And it's the same idea of you're using Magnet Beams pixel perfect just below the top of the screen. At, again, a very precise location. And it zips you quickly to the right. This movement speed is far faster than walking, so...
Yeah, I think a good corridor saves you like 6 or 7 seconds over just walking it. It's a pretty big deal to get them.
Yeah, getting the double corridor is definitely at least 6 seconds, which is pretty insane. Fireman is one of the most zip-heavy stages in the game. This stage is really, really tricky, so we'll see how the runners deal with it. Cool Kid starting off with both zips at the beginning. And then we've got another screen wrap here that Cool Kid will be going for. Starting with a zip on the ceiling.
Wow,
he doesn't end up going for the wrap.
He got the right pixel, but just didn't place the beam long enough, and it didn't zip him all the way to the end. So he came off the beam before he had a chance to wrap. And
the great thing about Mega Man 1 is that regardless of how the lead is now, I mean, this game shifts leads really quickly in the short 20-minute time frame, so be sure to see this, sort of switch around a lot.
Yeah, there's really not an easy stage in the run. Like, you're just every stage you're doing just has multiple difficult tricks that are usually frame and pixel perfect.
So one difference here is that some of the runners will have, Magnet Beam for the corridor, but Cool Kid does not. So Cool Kid will actually lose 6 seconds on anybody that gets the double zip here.
This is a really difficult corridor to zip correctly because you have those enemies on the ceiling. So when you mess up the corridors, it can cost you a bit more time than normal.
Looks like Dexter and White Hat both got 1. So saves about 3 seconds over Cool Kid. And yeah, To Big Boy is Cool Kid. To Big Boy is his Twitch name.
Sorry, I've been calling him Cool Kid for so long that lose sight of that. So here we have Bomb. I think we'll see Cool Kid going for a different strat here, where he's not going to switch to ice. Oh, yeah. So he's going to switch to the Magnet Beam, which is a really interesting strat. You'll see him try to avoid a Sniper Joe later in the screen. It's gonna. They like to chase you until the ends of the earth, and so he'll have him chasing them along. It should be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, the Sniper Joe strat for a long time has been to use Iceman's weapon to freeze him, which also reduces lag a bit. But clever use of the magnet beam will allow you to sort of maneuver the Sniper Joe in a very, very interesting way. He is very persistent on keeping up with you.
Yeah, Darko has a highlight called Overly Attached Boyfriend that is him just following you until the end of the stage.
And Cool Kid does go for the ladderless bomb zip. We'll see which runners go for that. There is very little visual cue for that setup. You can use the ladder on the left side of the screen. It's a lot easier, but is about a second or two slower, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see anybody using the ladder here.
Oh man, I'm just an old boy. I don't have the new strats.
Yeah, we've got high level play here.
So yeah, all three in the front definitely clearing Bomb Man without much difficulty, and Endy coming into the same stage. So this is still pretty tight.
To give you an idea, Cool Kid is probably on 18 pace. He's playing extremely well right now.
Yeah, Cool Kid definitely coming into Gutsman on a pretty solid pace here. And Gutsman, again, a really technical stage with a lot of... Oh my gosh, Cool Kid actually dies on the... So that really, you know, brings it back in.
As Adef says, the leads change all the time in this, and so that puts Cool Kid, you know, behind. And so we have...
Now White Hat and Cool Kid are pretty much frame for frame.
Yeah, we have Dexter right there as well. Unfortunately for Endy, he died in probably about the worst place in this game that you can die. He's been, you know, bravely soldiering on since then, been playing well, but there's a, you know, pretty big gap to make up. That's a really tough stage to take a death in.
And so the real important strat that all four players are going to go for, really important grab of the item at the end of the stage here. White Hat went for the Gutsman zip into the corridor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yo, props for hype. That's actually really sick. So all four of these players better be going for the most important trick of Mega Man 1. I'm gonna say it's the ass grab. It's very, very important that they get this, you know, for hype and such. The idea is that you kill Gutsman while he's still stomping on the ground, and so you get frozen midair. And there you go. The first three all getting it, super important. Obviously, a deal breaker.
So that looked like a 1222 warp grab for Cool Kid. I think I saw 1224 or something like that for Dexter.
And White Hat's is 1232.
So very close race between those three. Again, we're getting into the Wily stages. The game does not let up here at all. So in the world record run of 1845, I would say probably 10 seconds were lost by Cool Kid in his Wily 1. And that's typical. You know, you mess up the first screen, you can lose that much time.
A zip was recently added in the past couple of months that is really do or die in this stage at the very beginning. And I believe it's what Cool Kid missed, is it not?
Yeah, he missed the zip on the first screen. So we'll see how they set it up here.
Really, really tough. It looks like Cool Kid does not get it. And none of the players get it. Okay, none of the three get it, so we'll have to hope for Endy to get it when he gets there.
Well, I'm glad I talked up its difficulty.
Very, very tough zip. And then if you miss it, you got to go through this fire pillar room where these jumps are deceptively difficult.
I think each frame, or each jump is like a 2-frame jump or something like that. You have like a 30th of a second.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and you have to do 3 of them in a row.
Another ladder grab there from the top of the screen.
The screen with the moving platforms, yeah, it's pretty scary.
And, okay, so Cool Kid does go for weapon management here. Coming up into Wily 2 is one of the hardest tricks in the game, and weapon management is really important with the magnet beam. So they're going to have to do several zips in Wily 2 to skip the refights, and I would imagine all the players are going to go for it. It's pretty much in the meta now, pretty solidly. Very, very difficult trick. Yeah, alright, let's see Endy's attempt here. I think he got it. No, oh, he's 1 pixel too low.
You try to do the pro setup that saves beams.
So, coming into Wily 2, they'll have to do a corridor zip into the wall and then wrap like they did vertically in Elecman to get the magnet beam up and up and up. and then wrap from the top to the bottom into the Cutman refight. And then once they do that, they'll be able to do very precise input of left and A in order to wrap into the screen below and skip the Cutman fight. The problem is this unloads the area below, so if you don't do the skip again for Elecman, you soft lock the game because the loading zone thing for Elecman to exit the screen has disappeared. So, assuming they go for it again, they have to get both of them. Cool Kid really fast on the first ascension there.
As someone that's followed Mega Man 1 for a while, it's amazing to me that we've gotten to a point where this is just the strat that people do in races.
Yeah, the thing that set apart players like Seth Glass back in the day was that they went for this, and he was really the outlier. This used to be the strat you did as a joke if your run was bad, and now it is necessary. If you don't go for it, you're losing a ton of time over the top runners. Cool Kid having a little difficulty with the second one. Again, all of these left and A inputs, I believe, are frame perfect.
Dexter with an amazing stage.
Yeah, Dexter really solidifying a lead out of Wily 2.
So in his world record run, he got a gold split Wily 2, I believe, like that. That's his calling card, apparently. The world record before it was beaten.
And they're doing more ladder zips here, where they use down and B on the same frame like they did in the Elecman stage in order to zip into the wall.
I'm going to keep an eye on the split times coming out of here because it looks pretty close. Whitehead did a more traditional, a little bit safer Wily 2, which I would expect from most runners, but that's just not where we're at in 2017.
And it doesn't really even lose that much time realistically.
Yeah, you have to do the wraps really well in order to save time. It is a big time save overall. I want to say it's 12 seconds?
If you do it perfectly, I believe it's 16.
Is it? Okay.
Everything perfectly.
Yeah, and it's easy to lose that much time going for the wraps.
So Wily 3 introduces one of the biggest zips in the game. I think it is the biggest zip in the game. A huge time saver. And looks like Dexter's actually going to conserve beams here, which is good. And he does get the zip.
Okay, so we have a pretty important trick here at the end. This has ended many a world record run, and that's the dupes, as we call them. Basically, if you tab B on the frame, one of these guts blocks leaves the screen, you actually duplicate the block. You only have enough blocks for 4 of these guys, so you need to get 3 duplicates to kill all 7.
And one of the trickiest parts about this trick is that it's not the last frame they're on the screen, it's the frame they leave, so it's really almost certainly just muscle memory.
These runners are so good.
It's pretty unbelievable. When I was at AGDQ with Dexter, he tried to teach me how to do it, and he was like, the way he was explaining it was like, okay, you do it now, and then just now, and that's the only really the explanation he
just
give.
now, come on, what don't you get about this? And so all 3 runners so far got all the dupes they needed, lost no time.
And Dexter definitely, pretty solid lead, almost an entire screen over Cool Kid coming into Wily 4, which is, again, a really difficult stage with several important wraps. You got this first corridor zip here, which Dexter gets, and then moving into the Robot Master refights, you can actually skip them. Oh, Dexter also goes for the new zip.
That's clutch.
Yeah, that is clutch.
And he got it.
Is one beam.
Dexter has pretty insurmountable lead here, unless he dies to the Wily machine. It looks like he's going to take this race.
Yeah, the Wily machine is pretty straightforward. It's kind of funny that it's one of the easier bosses in the game, even though it's the final boss.
We have seen a race at GDQ where someone ran out of fire on this, and I think it cost him a race. Or maybe it was an ESA, but that
I think it was ESA.
Yeah, I think it was ESA then.
And yeah, Dexter coming in here, definitely going to pull a really solid timeout. Anything sub 20 is insane. Yeah, wow, 1925. That is really, really solid. Anything sub 1930 is unbelievable. Sub 19 runs come once in a blue moon, so sub 1930 is pretty insane.
I mean, a couple years ago, the world record in this game was 1932 or something like that, 1935. So people are just beating that regularly now. Cool kid with what looked like a 1941, white hat 1950.
That is really crazy. 3 runners, sub 20.
And really, Endy would be right there if not for just one mistake in ice.
So Sweden takes it. Sweden takes both first and second place in this race. I don't know about you guys, but I'm hoping for the America lead in the AGDQ race, no bias. But really, really solid race.
Yeah, you know, if this is the race that we get at AGDQ on Sunday, I'd be pretty excited for that. We had a couple lead changes and just really good play overall. It was, you know, that was an impressive race.
And Endy coming in here, really solid. Wily 4, still nothing to laugh at. Really crazy run. Coming into the Wily 4 boss room, sub 21 is still pretty solid. This game is relentless in how difficult it is. You could see that one single death in Iceman led to a complete lead change.
So now that this race is just about over, let's see, we have Endy finishing up with a 21:03. And he lost over a minute in ice, so that was a 19 without it. So now we're going to switch to a format where each runner is just going to go into doing regular PB/world record attempts. We're gonna stick with this quad box format until we see someone get, you know, a little further in the game, and then we'll kind of focus in on that. As you can see, you know, there's so many potential minefields for a run that's on good pace as you continue throughout the game. Each stage is a potential run breaker, so it'll be fun to, you know, try to track and see if we can get a world record here live.
And just a reminder, you can follow all 4 of these runners as well. All 4 really solid Mega Man 1 players. I believe their Twitch streams are actually on the layout. So if you go to twitch.tv/ and then whatever the name is that's displayed, you can follow these runners. And then as well as AGDQ is January 8th through the 15th. It's next week actually, starting on Sunday. So everybody make sure to tune in for that on twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. And on Sunday night at 7:40 Eastern Time, you will see these 4 same players racing live with yours truly commentating. So do not miss it. This is going to be a really hype race. If anything, what we just saw is an indicator of how insane it's going to be. Make sure to tune in for that.
Yeah, this should be one of the best Mega Man events we've seen at a GDQ. The fact that we got 4 sub-19, the best 4 Mega Man 1 players in the world, 3 of them from overseas, to come here for this event, it's going to be something you don't want to miss.
And all 4 of these players, sub-19 as well as, I mean, they're all within like 15 seconds of each other, which is, even if they weren't sub-19 times, having 4 players in the top 4 slots within 15 seconds of each other is pretty incredible. So again, the race is at 7:40 Eastern Time. If you'd like to check your local time, type that. You can go to gamesdonequick.com/schedule, and it is one of the first runs on the list, and it will be converted to your local time.
Just speaking a little generally about Games Done Quick, I got a chance to go to my first one in July, and leaving there, my main takeaway was I don't want to miss another one. It's a really fun event. It's fun to watch on on Twitch, but then it's also fun to attend. So anybody that's like into speedrunning and has thought about attending one of those, if you can make it happen, I would definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So Cool Kid actually getting out of Cutman first try, and I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but a solid Cutman sets you up for the rest of your run, so a lot of times runners may reset if they are behind at the end of Cutman, or if they make one big mistake. And so runners like to come out with something sub 215 usually, and Cool Kid leaving Cutman with 213, which is actually pretty insane. So I don't know if we're going to switch over to the main layout here, and it looks like White Hat's actually doing some practice before he does record attempts. And then the other 2 runners also beginning attempts in Cutman.
It may not seem like much because there's no slide and you just walk, but there's a lot of movement in Cutman stage. To get 213, you actually need to move pretty well throughout the stage. Make your jumps as quick as you can, and it's not easy to get a 213 at all. You'll only start to see that from runners that are really starting to challenge good times in this game. I think a couple runners have gotten a very high 212. I know Andy has. I'm assuming Cool Kid has as well. He doesn't have splits though, because he's too cool for that apparently. So we can't see what his best split is.
Sometimes I found running without splits is actually more beneficial. It doesn't psych you out so much.
Some people definitely prefer it. Yeah, you can maybe not have the nerves, but at the same time, if you're doing enough attempts, you know, Cool Kid knows what all his splits are. Like, he knows what a good 6 robot master time is. He knows what a good Wily 2 split is. So, you know, it might be another reason as well.
Right. Really comes down to feeling in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you know, when you're doing something like this, it's just whatever you're comfortable with. You're trying to get into a zone when you're doing, you know, PB attempts like this. Just trying to find your rhythm.
And Cool Kid actually coming to the end of a Lekman here. And the big guy gives him a big hop. Oh man, Endy getting a 213 flat as well. So Endy and Cool Kid both out of Cutman with really solid times. That might have even been a 212.9 if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty crazy.
That's impressive. So we'll see what time Cool Kid gets here out of Elec. He's had a pretty good start. His world record time gets a 5:02. This one is a high 5:03. So he loses about 10 seconds in his Wily 1. So if you consider that, if he stays close to his splits and then nails the first step in Wily 1, he'll be ahead of world record pace.
It would be pretty hyped to see one, maybe even 2 PBs today. If not PBs, maybe world records. I don't know. So make sure to stay tuned and see what we can see out of these 4 really solid, consistent runners.
So ice is where you're starting. So this is the first zip. This is kind of where the run starts. Not that Elec isn't difficult, but you can take a lot of times out of Elec. Looks like Cool Kid has the pixel here. So we'll see a difference between he and Endy. Endy does a double zip strat on the first screen there, whereas you see you see Cool Kid just going for the 1. I want to say the double zip might save an extra second, 2 seconds. Definitely a lot harder to pull off. I know Cool Kid has learned it. I'm not sure how comfortable he feels with the strat though. He does miss the pixel on this one, so he's going to have to go for the backup here, which he nails.
Yeah, Cool Kid actually having a pretty solid Iceman as well.
He unfortunately only has 1 beam left, so he's going to forego one of the quarter zips.
He does get the first one though, so he's probably only losing 2 or 3 seconds depending on how the corridor zip went in his PB, so... And we are on the solo layout now of just Cool Kid, so... And with the other 3 runners on the box on the side.
Okay, so 650. Still within striking distance here.
For sure, sub 7 is very solid. And again, don't be surprised, now that we're not in a race format, it's very possible that if a death happens, like happened in one of the racers' runs before, they will just most likely reset. And we'll, you know, switch over the layout, because now these runners are just going for record and PB attempts. Great.
Nails the first zip, misses the second. That one probably cost you about 2 seconds to miss that. I do recall Cool Kid having some trouble with the quarter zips in his fire stage. So as good as his world record run is, there's still there's still potential time save in every stage. He doesn't have to play them perfectly in order to still be on PB pace.
And he does miss that first big fire zip. However, that one honestly does not save that much time. It's almost a swag strat, but it definitely saves probably 2 or 3 seconds at least. So if he can make up that time in the corridor zips, that would be very solid. And also, just so everybody knows, there will be a community race after this. So if anybody would like to try their hand at Mega Man 1 and beat one of the best, it's definitely possible. So on Speedruns Live, after this sort of record attempt spree going here for the next couple hours, there will be a community race. So I recommend everybody join in on that.
I believe the start time for that is going to be 5 o'clock Eastern. And then following that, there's going to be a couple community races for Mega Man 3, of which there's a Mega Man 3 tournament happening after GDQ. Okay. Cool Kid with like 840 or so out of fire, which means he's like +5 on his PB. And again, that time save is there in Wily 1. So, still on solid pace, still with a chance to PB here. And for anybody that doesn't know, Cool Kid is the big boy. You probably see it on his stream, but I'm not sure if that's cropped out actually.
Okay, so I think we're actually double box Cool Kid and Endy now.
Thanks for updating me on that.
Yeah, if you can switch over on text channels.
Yeah, me. See, thanks.
So we've actually got 3 runners out of Cut now, 2 out of Iceman, and Cool Kid heading into Bomb Man, which is typically one of the more consistent stages in the run. Usually in my PB attempts, it's where I take a breather because I know the zips here are not terribly difficult, but again, these runners are going for some pretty crazy strats, so anything can happen here.
Yeah, for a while there, you'd see this theme where like every really strong PB in this game had a bad bomb, and it is supposed to be one of the easier ones, so it's kind of funny how that worked out, but.
And he does end up missing the. He misses the zip entirely. So.
And there you go.
There's the first reset. Past Iceman. So.
Yeah. So now we'll probably focus in on Indy.
Yeah.
So to give an idea about these guys' PBs and where they stand after 6 robots. Again, all of them have sub 19 times. Cool Kid was 1150 after 6 robots, and let's see, I think Endy was like 1152, Dexter had a 12 flat, and then Whitehead had a 1210. So you can see that like even being 20 seconds behind after the 6 robot stages doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to get a really good time. There's so much time in the castle stages for every runner. Like nobody ever nails everything in castles, but the dream is there. If you're able to do it, you can PB with like almost any 6 robots.
Theoretically, a human should be able to get something in the range of like 1830 or maybe even faster. But, I mean, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, these guys have really good times in this game. You may ask why they reset, but once you get to a point where, you can't PB anymore or you just don't like your run, sometimes it's as simple as that. A lot of times you start over and try to get to the same spot on a better pace.
And though there is like a pretty solid amount of time save in the Wily stages, there is no way to recover from most deaths when you're at this play level. So Cool Kid didn't really have a choice. If he wants to PB, he's gonna have to reset from a death like he had in Bomb Man.
I haven't seen the elect strat before.
Yeah, this is actually new to me as well.
Was that a missed menu and he's rolling with it, or is this something?
It's possible. I'm curious to see what he does here.
Oh, okay.
He switches to Magnet Beam. Okay. I thought he was going to maybe kill the Sniper Joe or something.
Yeah, that must have been a missed menu. Because if he was going to switch to Magnet Beam for that and do the strat we saw Cool Kid do, he would have just done that to begin with.
And I think we might actually switch to the solo on Dexter now because ND has messed up the Sniper Joe a little bit, so he's going to go ahead and reset because that is pretty pesky. There's not a whole lot you can do to save yourself from that.
Pretty amazing. We've seen 2 resets in Bomb.
Yeah, that is not common.
You have fewer zips in Bomb than the previous 2 stages. Ice and Fire should be a lot more difficult, but a lot of times you just reach the point of no return. Once you've messed up something in Bomb, you're done. There we go. We see the double zip set up there for Dexter.
That strat is so sick.
That one is fairly new.
Yeah, that is pretty new to the meta, so really, really cool that Dexter goes and not only goes for it, but gets it as well. And he might, yeah, he's going for a zip here too. He's going for the long zip into the wrap, and he got the pixel.
Yeah, that's the bad break setup. That wasn't something runners were doing, I think, even like 6 months ago. This game, routing on this game has changed quite a bit. Just
I think
continuously is getting faster.
What happened was we were all in the Discord and something came up where people were complaining about having to pick up the weapon drop and like not really having a consistent way to get back up, and then Bad Breaks was like, LOL, I have a setup. Just posted it.
Okay, so that was a really, really good ice from Dexter. He hit pretty much everything. He got both quarter zips. He got 2 zips in the first screen. He got the wrap to the wall. And so that puts him on really good pace. I think that was something like 6:46, which is just a couple seconds behind world record pace and definitely ahead of his own.
He's 4 seconds ahead of his PB coming out of Iceman. And again, were he comparing, against Cool Kid's world record, he might not look as solid now, but there is different time save for different runners in different places. So it's hard to judge where he matches up necessarily versus every run, given that, Cool Kid missed X trick in Wily 1, and Dexter missed Y in Wily 2 or what have you. So a ton of different time save in a lot of different places.
Definitely. For each runner, they each have the skill to the point where if they just don't make that many mistakes, then they can world record in this game. We don't have a runner here that is, they're all of the elite caliber where, world record could happen at any given time.
And it's funny you say that because, I would say 3 or 4 years ago, it was a story of one player at a time being the dominant player by far. And then in the last 2 years, it has really shifted to become a story of 4 really consistent players. Which makes me really excited for speedrunning in Mega Man 1.
So Dexter and Cool Kid have been running this game forever. But Whitehat and Endy both picked up this game extremely quickly. They got to top tier times within weeks. Endy, I think, learned it over the summer, and I think Whitehat was something around there. And so they've been running this game for 6 months. Whereas when I joined the Mega Man community, Dexter and Cool Kid were already the elite Mega Man 1 runners. They've probably been running this game for 4 or 5 years. I wasn't even around back then.
It's longer than that, actually. I started 4 years ago. I think Cool Kid started almost a year before me, maybe even longer.
So, Dexter with a solid Fireman stage. So we'll see if Bomb continues to trip up our people going for their good runs right here.
All 4 players are playing on console. The quality on Dexter's might look a little bit better. He's playing on an RGB modded system. And then also we're in the double now with Cool Kid and Dexter. And we'll see how Dexter fares in Bomb Man.
So I mentioned this at the top, but this is a new format we're calling Chase for the Record. This is the first time we've done this, but they're planning on making this a series. The next one planned is Super Mario World 96 Exits that they're going to do after GDQ. So look forward to this. I'm really excited to see 4 simultaneous sets of world record attempts. As a speedrunner myself, I enjoy the grind. I like seeing. I like seeing the PB attempts and people resetting to get top times, and so to have 4 of them at once and being able to focus on the ones that make it through the early game is great.
And again, if you'd like to follow these 4 runners, I think Feasel can do the chat command, but more than likely in the coming days you'll be able to see at least one of these runners doing world record attempts any given night. So definitely have somebody to tune into. Also, Dexter, oh my god.
Gold Bomb.
Gold Bomb. So 10:22 coming out. Really solid pace.
For anybody that's not actually familiar with speedrunning, so a gold split means that's the best you've done that particular split ever. So that was Dexter's best Bomb Man stage he's ever had, and he's been playing this game again for several years.
He might lose a few seconds here due to getting in a little bit of trouble with the Mets at the beginning, but again, with that gold split, he's got a ton of buffer time.
We saw from the race that first screen of Guts is particularly scary. So he had messed up his movement at the beginning, and so what he did was kind of slowed down just to make sure that he didn't take the death there. So he lost a little bit of time, but he didn't lose his run.
He's going to go for the 2 corridors here. We'll see how they go. First one down. And the second one, really solid stage, besides that blip at the beginning. And Cool Kid also getting out of Fireman at like 8:37.
That's really good pace also. Got 2 really good runs going right now.
ASSGRAB.
So we have our first run out of 6 robos, 11:55. That's about, I think, 5 seconds ahead of his pace, his PB pace out of 6 robo.
It is almost exactly 5. What was world records? Robos 11:50.
11:50. So again, 5 seconds behind that, but then you had probably 10 seconds worth of mistake in the world record run, and Wily won. So we could see this run actually being ahead of world record pace if we see a good Wily 1. Again, very difficult stage. We saw every runner mess up this zip in the race. So we'll see, now that we're in PB attempts, whether this is actually going to happen or not. And then, yeah, don't forget about Cool Kid either, who might even be on better pace. Look at that. Look at that. He got it.
He did get it. And you might have seen him pause a little bit on that zip. The Wily 1 zip is very strange in that you need to stop for a moment when you have the pixel and wait on the beam before pressing left, because for some reason the way in which the area loads, it will kill you if you do not wait. So Dexter solidly ahead of the world record at this point.
This end part of Wily 1 is definitely not free.
No, it is not.
So he goes down and collects the beams. Some runners do and some don't. It gives you 2 extra beams by doing that, which you can definitely put to use in the later stages. A lot of times, really what it does is just kind of covers up the potential disaster of missing a beam in one of the later stages. And there's a lot of, pixel perfect beams you have to do. So having those 2 extra can really put you in, better position to have a more consistent end game.
Pretty good Yellow Devil fight. He is now 9.5 seconds ahead of his PB at 14:01, which is, I believe, ahead of Cool Kid's time as well.
Man, when are we going to see the streamlined Devil Kill in world record attempts? So there's a faster Devil Kill that nobody goes for. It's really, really difficult to do, but there's one runner that does it named Streamline. And I feel like it's only a matter of time before the PBs the world record gets so good in this game that you have to go for it.
Dexter with the big pill, dude. The big jug. Big jug on Wily 2. That is insane. That is a huge time. Like, it looks like it loses time, but now he has so many extra beams to play with. Struggling with the Wily 2 zip a little bit here, though.
So this is the main gatekeeper of the Mega Man 1 run. This strat is basically impossible. And we saw pretty much everybody get it that went for it in the race, but now you're seeing what this could look like.
And that is probably going to be the end of the run, unfortunately. Big jug into missed Wily 2. That's unfortunate. But again, really, really difficult trick. Not for the faint of heart. But Cool Kid's still going strong.
I think he had an 11:55 as well, so he's on the same pace Dexter just was. As a Mega Man 1 runner, if you watch a stream, watch one of these guys do a stream for 3 hours, you'll see them your goal is to get to Wily 2 on good enough pace that hopefully, you push a run through, because that particular strat they're going for is going to kill, it's going to kill some runs. As good as these guys are at it, there's luck involved and really precise timing.
And like Dexter just said, that wasn't even really nerves, it's just Wily 2 being Wily 2. And like Fast was saying as well, as a Mega Man 1 runner, that was disappointing, but at the same time, I wasn't very surprised. It's an unbelievably difficult trick.
And look who's on world record pace now after getting the zip in the first screen of Wily 1.
So
I
Cool
love this
Kid
format,
now.
It's so good.
This is so good. Cool Kid now on world record pace. And Endy's in Bomb Man as well, not too far behind.
If we have another Wily 2 failure, we have Endy just backing up right there. I love it.
We're actually going to stay with the solo stream on Cool Kid for right now, just due to how much time he is ahead. Oh, and he uses a third beam right there in the climb.
Man.
That is... We can hope for the big jug, maybe?
Yeah, he's probably going to need it because he wasted a lot of beam in that stage.
He's going to need at least one or two drops, if not the big jug.
What you'll see is, so they kill enemies on the first screen of Wily 2, and they're hoping for an ammo refill, because you want as much magnet beam in this game as you can get. And so he's going to really be hoping to get a drop. When they see the drop, they switch to magnet beam to collect the refill.
Send your prayers to Big Jug.
That was a 14 flat kill, so he actually is ahead of PB pace.
He's ahead of where Cool Kid... Or actually, he's like right on par with where Dexter was in his last run as well. So it's like we're just seeing the same run again.
Yeah, hopefully with a slightly different result this time.
But the same Big Jug.
Right.
No Big Jug. Dang.
Oh.
He did get one drop, though. So it's not the end of the run.
He got that. He definitely needs... Basically, every beam he places, he needs to make sure he hits, and he did there.
Pretty solid first zip. That's honestly just right on par with where he needs to be.
Have you ever actually done that climb?
I have. I have only successfully done it like 2 or 3 times. Never in a run, though. I've never wanted to go for it. It is, it's relentless.
Yeah, do you want to explain why it's so difficult?
Yeah, so essentially what's going on there is when you're in the wall like that, when you turn around, it takes you to the other edge of the screen, and you have to turn around and jump. You have to turn around and then jump an exact amount of frames later. I think it's 2 frames after you turn around, you have to jump. And the timing for it is so insane. It feels like it's not a conventional timing. Typically, when you think of, a runner having a frame-perfect trick that's 2 inputs, it's like boom, boom, right? It's one right after the other, but this one has a very specific timing that is very hard to get down for some reason.
Gotcha. So Cool Kid had a solid Wily too. His beams are low, but his pace is decent.
He could forego the first Wily 3-zip and hope for really good dupes, maybe. I'm not sure if that'll put him behind or not. We'll have to see what he ends up going for. And also, Endy leaving 6 robos with a 12 flat.
So he's basically tied with his world record pace at this point.
I would say, yeah, probably.
His Wily 3 and 4 were pretty solid in his PB, so he has his work cut out for him for sure, especially with the low beams. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it would be really unlikely.
He has no beams left.
That's gonna be it. A lot of times, a runner gets this far and they'll just finish the run. And so it always feels good to beat the game, because sometimes you can stream for 3 hours and not beat the game once if you're just getting stuck with early resets.
He doesn't get any drops.
He's just looking for drops. He didn't want to take the walk of shame. That
all right,
zip
but
is
now
really
right
important.
into Endy.
So I missed it. What time did he come out of?
12 flat.
12 flat. Okay. So I mean that basically equals what Dexter's time was in his PB coming out of 6. So definitely, it's definitely the type of pace that you can get a sub 1845 with.
He did miss the Wily 1-zip, but I know Endy has a lot of time save in his later stages, so.
The dream is always the God Wily 2, where like you get the big jug and you just nail those 2 wraps like just as quickly as you possibly can.
That really, and it really is. I mean, you would save so much time if you get them both perfectly. Every once in a while, a runner will get both, and sometimes it's on an average run when their nerves aren't as bad. But once you've got that going, you're back ahead. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Endy did miss 2 dupes in his PB in Wily 3. It's pretty heartbreaking, actually.
That's a free like 8 to 10 seconds.
Because he was definitely on probably like 1840 pace or something like that. Maybe even 1839, and just as you saw, all the runners got it in the race, but it's not an easy strat at all, and it can sap you so much time if you miss those frame perfect inputs. All right, Wily 2.
Yeah, here we go. He's 12 seconds behind, but this is definitely recoverable. If he gets fast zips and then also gets the dupes, he definitely could pull ahead.
It's fun seeing the slightly different strats between the runners. You see most people... So you see Endy will take the damage boost from that enemy there. Let's see what we got. Probably needs a little bit better Wily 2 than that. He did get it. There's also a subpixel where you actually get the wrap. And so, like, once you do all those, like, impossible inputs, the game can just decide, nope, you're not getting it, and, you know, subpixel you out of the wall.
And that is on a lot of these wraps. There is a small chance that the game's processor is, you know, the game is just like, wait, no, I don't want you to do that. And even though you had perfect inputs, there's something called a subpixel that is not visible, and it kills you. And kills your run and makes you sad. And that is a very real possibility on a lot of tricks, and there is nothing you can do about it.
So Endy did get both wraps. They weren't instantaneous or anything. Be curious to see where his pace is at the end of the stage.
Really fast ladder grab, though.
Yeah.
And he does get the turnaround there. Basically, what he's doing there is he wants to turn around right before he hits the bottom of the screen so that he can wrap again and ignore a line of death. Basically, on that one screen he turned around on, there is a death zone. If you fall through it, you die. And so he wanted to wrap right below it in order to wrap one more screen down and skip some of that little maze-like section on that penultimate screen. And Wily 2's boss is... It's sort of a nice breather. After you get through the hell that is Wily 2, it sort of gives you an opportunity to take a breath and just use your muscle memory to get through that fight pretty easily. And prepare yourself mentally for Wily 3 and 4.
Yeah, so Endy's like... Oh, sorry, good.
No, you're good.
I was going to say, he's at the point where even with his like best ever Wily 3 and 4, he's not going to beat his PB. But he does want to try to finish a run out. A lot of times, you know, if you're doing resets, you know, you can get stuck in the beginning parts of the game for a couple hours, and then you kind of lose the feel for the later stages. So a lot of times it makes sense to finish out a run.
Plus, if you get to the end of a run like this and you just go ahead and finish it out, sometimes it's good to see really how much time you can save.
Yeah, it's kind of a confidence builder.
You're like, oh, if I just get here, then I can save this much time.
See how these dupes go.
There's one.
Again, you need to get 3 in order to not lose time here. And there it is.
And he's got all 3. Nice.
What a guy.
4.
It's another one just for the heck of it.
And he saves 10 seconds.
Now we'll see Wily 4. Wily 4 is pretty nerve-wracking, you know, assuming you're on really good pace. There's a couple of difficult tricks you have to go for, and failing either of them could definitely cost you.
So other than that, him coming into this gauntlet of zips here, but Cool Kid and White Hat, I believe one of White Hat's first runs actually after he did some practice, both coming out of Cutman here. So once this run ends, we'll be able to switch over to the 4-box layout, and then perhaps if, you know, White Hat and Cool Kid get out of Elect, then we'll be able to switch to the double as well.
So Endy does get the refight skip. Only question that remains is, would this be a sub 19? But I don't think he's quite going to make it.
No, there's not enough time left before he gets to the boss, unfortunately. Still going to be sub 20, though, for sure, by a long amount. And we've actually got 3 runners out of Cutman, which is pretty insane. Yeah, so this is Chase for the Record, and these are actually... This is not a race currently. If it would, that'd be a pretty solid lead for Endy. The idea here is that all 4 players are going for their own world record and PB attempts right now, and we're sort of just switching between, you know, who's having the best run and what have you. And yeah, 1914 for Endy, which is... Very, very good. Very solid run. So the 4 of them are all going for their PB attempts and by extension world record attempts, and we're sort of just switching between who's got the best run going on. And since we've currently got 3 players all in Elec Man, we're gonna switch to the quad box here, and looks like players pretty comfortably getting those wraps for the magnet beam.
The reason why we have these 4 runners, they're going to be doing a race on Sunday at 7:40 Eastern Time at Awesome Games Done Quick. We have the 4 best Mega Man 1 players in the world here. The only 4 with sub 19s in this game. So, before this we had a race between the 4, which was won by Dexter. And now we're going into just all of them doing world record attempts, trying to beat Cool Kid's 1845.
And yeah, the world record in this game, I mean, has always been a pretty hotly contested item, but right now, 1845 is a pretty damn tough run to beat, so we'll have to see, if any of these runners can pull something together. And we've actually already had 2 runners on world record pace heading into Wily 2. Unfortunately, both of them losing it to some pesky zips, but regardless of that...
Wow, this pace. I'm not sure that I've seen a 457 orb grab in Elec, which we just saw from Cool Kid.
That's unbelievable. He also had incredible. A 50k.
I think it was 457.9 or something.
And another thing that's actually random about this game, there aren't a ton of RNG elements in this game, but one of them, and another 50k, that I'm talking about right now is points. The points don't really matter in this game. However, at the beginning when you select a stage, you get a random number of points in intervals of 10,000 from 50 to 100, so 50, 60, 70, etc. And depending on which one you get, at the end of the stage when you grab the orb, you get that point racks up. And the higher the value, the longer it takes for that to scroll up. So 50,000 is the fastest by far. And then 100,000 obviously being the slowest. And Cool Kid just had back-to-back 50Ks.
Wow. And his ice stage has been perfect so far. Other
and
than doing the baby
too.
strat without the 2 zips.
I dream for 2 zips.
Wow.
He gets that zip as well.
What a run this has been. Alright, let's see if he gets the corridors.
First one, no problem. Second one, no problem.
Oh my God. Goodness. This is the literal god run of Mega Man 1.
This is like actual god pace. I don't think I've ever seen a run this good.
637. So that's 7 seconds ahead of his PB pace, and his PB pace has really good 6 robots.
I just can't believe how good that is.
Okay, it's gone. That's 3 impossible stages down, and only 9 impossible stages or 7 impossible stages left.
Gets both beginning zips and Fireman. That's a great start.
Nice. Yeah, this is the type of pace as a speedrunner, you're like, how can I possibly finish this? Cool Kid probably has nerves of steel. He's been doing this a long time, and he tends to perform at his best when the stakes are highest. But I don't know how you could possibly, my hands would be tingling. I don't know how I'd be able to hold the controller on this pace.
I'm interested to know why he keeps doing that thing where he's placing a beam right when he grabs the 2 big jugs.
So if you grab it at the right height, that beam will actually be at the perfect pixel to set up the zip.
That is so sick.
And so you see if it is.
Zip, not a problem.
Wow. Okay, let's see. Oh no, he doesn't have any beams.
But to be fair, that's about on pace with his PB. His PB didn't have great zips here either, if memory serves.
Right. Yeah, I think he got the fake quarter beam pixel. He thought he had it, and he jumped on the beam, and it wasn't it.
So he's probably about not losing any time, if some, maybe half a second, because the rest of the stage was so solid. That is 824 pickup.
Yeah, his PB is 835.
He is currently 9 seconds ahead of world record, and he can pick up another 10 seconds in Wily 1.
All right, let's see bomb.
This is so insane. There's another 50k. What the heck?
Oh man, this is incredible.
The game is pulling for him. 50ks are not common. I mean, it's what, 1 in 6?
Yeah, I'm assuming so. Yeah, assuming it's like evenly distributed. And 50k over 100k saves, I think, 50 frames, so like almost a full second in each stage.
And he looks like he's going for the beam shred again.
Yeah, this is cool kid we're talking about. This is so fun to watch. Can't believe
really
it. I'm here. Yeah, this is great.
I'm like, I don't even really have anything to say. I'm just in awe. And he does get the long zip too. Oh my god.
We're waiting for him to miss like anything.
He got the perfect beam placement. There's no visual cue for that. That is just muscle memory.
Like, it's common. Everything in Mega Man 1 is so difficult that even good runs of this game usually miss like 1 or 2 things per stage, and you're still on good pace. And he's missed like 1 or 2 things in the entire run.
And he catches Bomb Man midair, which is...
Yeah, he got the good RNG on the
shot.
jump.
10:09 though.
10:09. 10 seconds.
That is... Look, just to give you some reference here, 10:09 is... Here, let's go to this really quick. So Dexter's PB is, what, 1850?
Yeah.
And Dexter's Bomb Man time is 10:30.
So we're 21 seconds ahead of that.
21 seconds ahead of one of the second best time in the world.
I'm nervous for Guts right here.
I'm nervous for the whole thing.
And he's pausing his attempts to watch Cool Kid right now. Other Mega Man 1 runners are in awe of this pace. Like, this is incredible.
And everybody wants everybody else to succeed, too. It's a really, really, really strong community. So... I don't think... Yeah, okay, so he misses the long zip here, but that really does not save that much time. Maybe a second. Or 2.
Alright, well... Survive. Let's see what the quarter zips look like, because that's probably the biggest time save, is nailing those 2. Keep in mind, he's this far ahead of his own pace, and had a bad Wily once, so... He can afford to make some mistakes here.
Both corridor zips.
Nails them both.
Full
right
zips
into the
too.
door, too. Yeah, that's
full
awesome.
Zips. You can't ask for anything better than that.
Cool Kid frustrated with his fail stage. I think this one's going to be okay. 11:42.
What?
11:42. So that's 8 seconds ahead.
And he has 10 more seconds in the next
pace.
stage. He could choose not to go for the Wily 1-zip and just keep the pace he has if he wants. And he could probably save time over his PB anyway by just not going for the zip.
Whew. Man, I'm nervous just watching.
What a god.
Alright, let's see it.
Of course he's going for it. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's Cool Kid.
It's Cool Kid. He got it. That's it. That's the pixel. He is now solidly 20 seconds ahead of world record.
And he only used 3 beams doing it, too. So we're talking 18 2x pace. Like...
I don't think there has been a run to date this fast. Even if the run doesn't finish, which I really hope it finishes, he still can say this is probably the fastest run of all time.
Alright.
Or at least one of.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see if he goes for the beams here. He does. So since he has all that buffer time now from getting the zip, he feels comfortable picking up both beams.
Okay.
A pretty good climb.
Didn't waste any beams there, that's good. Good Wily 1. That was a good Wily 1. Alright. So his best time out of Wily 1 is 13:51.
Yeah, he's gonna crush that just now.
Yeah.
1350,
and
what you said?
1351. That's 10 seconds ahead of his world record pace. That's the best he's ever done. So we'll see what it comes out here.
Oh, he misses.
Oh, no.
Okay,
No,
he gets
no.
it. He gets it. He's
1347.
4 seconds
that's-
ahead of his fastest ever.
Yeah.
That gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, his eyes started to close.
He was probably 2 frames before the Yellow Devil's hitbox disappeared.
Okay, Wily 2. This is... Don't be mean, game. Come on.
I pray for Big Jug.
Come on.
He got a drop. He got a drop.
Okay, that's good.
And he picked up the 2 drops in Wily 1, so pretty solid. Okay.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Climb. Get up there. Oh, this is so mean. This is so mean. I hate this game.
Okay, honestly, with all the
Okay.
buffer time that he had, that's really not bad.
Okay, okay.
He's
All right,
probably
he
still
got
10
it.
seconds
He
ahead.
got it. One more. Come on. Let him up there. Just let him up there, game.
Oh, he's in! He's
Okay.
in!
Okay, so
Okay.
he's got it. Okay,
he-
didn't get
he's
something.
past
So
that.
yeah. He's past the very hardest part in the run. He gave some time back, but his pace was so insane before that.
That he really is not... He's still ahead, for sure. Oh, okay, he got the ladder grab, alright. And he gets the perfect
He
turnaround.
gave a lot of time back for sure, but this... Okay, that was good.
That was really good.
All right, let's see where he's at after this. His
Dexter
Wily
also
3 and 4
pausing.
and his PB were both very good again.
Do you know his Wily 2 time off the top of your head?
16:06.
It's gonna be close.
I think he'll be ahead of that.
He will.
Okay, so we're at
16:02.
16. Yeah, like 16:02 flat. So he's got a few seconds to play with. If he plays as well as he did in his PB in the last 2 stages, then he's got this. Still a lot of difficult things left to do. That's how insane his pace was. That I mean, you saw like you can see Wily 2 where those wraps can go instantly, and you saw how much time he spent there, and he's still ahead. So he doesn't go for the setup there.
Oh
no.
No!
Oh, what a place to lose the run.
Oh my god!
So he's out of beams now, so he can't do this last wrap,
Oh.
which means he would have
What-
to walk.
what?
Oh,
What
what?
was that?
Oh, never
What
mind.
was
I
that?
forgot about that strat. I forgot about that strat. That is incredible. He still doesn't have a beam he needs for Wily 4.
He can go
Um,
for the double setup where he breaks both blocks. It's gonna make
Yeah.
PB really tough, though.
That is a really difficult save that he just did. That
I have never seen that.
dupes, come on. He needs to get 3. He needs 1 more after this.
Oh,
He got it.
Clutch,
That's
the
clutch.
clutch.
Okay, so that's 17-15. You know, he's 2 seconds behind and he doesn't have the beams. I don't think he can get this, but this is... I'd like to see him finish out a nice 18 here.
What an unbelievable run! What a roller coaster too.
Wow. So there's a setup, and he had enough beams for it, where you place a beam and do a full jump onto it, and then do a full jump, and then you can basically buffer your first beam. And you wouldn't have that problem, but it is a little slower, and so Cool Kid being Cool Kid goes for the slightly faster strat. But like if we see Endy get to Wily 3, you'll see a different strat there that's, you know, completely free, basically.
Yeah, he does not end up getting the corridor zip here. But the big jug does reset, so we maybe could still see an 18. No, not at that point. Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah, the two block setup is really tough.
So that's rough. I mean,
That is really rough, and Cool Kid's gotta be careful not to beat himself up about that, because, I mean, really the stuff he lost the run on is a lot of stuff that's out of his control.
yeah.
And to be honest, just being able to witness that run is pretty insane. Everybody here should be grateful that they just saw something that literally has not been seen.
It's just one run. One failed run is the same as any other, but it hurts when you're on that kind of pace.
Good news is, though, he can do it again.
Yep. That's the other thing. You know, once you do it once, you have that confidence that I've been on this pace before, I can do it again. And so it keeps you pushing towards that game.
And I know it's tough to go and switch over to other people, but now we've got Endy and White Hat, both of whom on pretty decent pace.
White Hat got the that sick faster. I think that's the Nadua setup there for the zip. We just used 2 beams.
I'm actually going to hop off the mic for 1 second. I will be right back.
So the lesser of the 2 bomb man patterns you can get, but through bomb man here, 1038, not quite 1009, but still definitely something White Hat can PB with. So we're gonna go to Gutsman here. Endy's on fire, so we got a couple runs. We lost one, lost a heartbreaker, and now we got a couple more runs going. And yeah, I'm gonna say that this format is a huge win. I'm been a big fan of this so far. Just to plug it again, this is Chase for the record. This is the first time we're doing this. There's gonna be more in the future. Super Mario World 96 Exits has already been confirmed for after GDQ. But hopefully, if this continues to be as fun as this one, we're just gonna see more and more of this being a regular thing. So. And then we have these 4 runners that are going to be participating in Awesome Games Done Quick, which you'll be able to see here on Twitch starting next week. The Mega Man 1 race is going to be Sunday, 7:40 Eastern. Yeah, you're going to see these same 4 runners, and the way these guys play, it's going to be a good race, and you're going to probably see at least one really, really good run just because of how consistent these runners are. So White Hat about to finish up bomb right here. Gets the important ass grab, and we're at 12:11. So he's a second behind his PB at this point. Definitely still enough time save left for him to PB here.
And an interesting thing to note is that if you think about White Hat's PB there, 12:11, that is solidly 20 seconds behind Cool Kid's time, but then his end time, 18:58, is not that far behind Cool Kid's time. So, what you come out of in 6 Robot Masters does not necessarily determine what your run is going to be.
Yeah, there's time save in pretty much every stage when you're playing. I mean, unless you get a PB like Cool Kid was about to get right there, it's common. I don't know what these guys' sum of bests are, but world record's 1845. I think their sum of bests or something. When I say sum of best, I mean like the addition of all their best segments put together is probably something like 1805 or 1810 or something like that. So there's 35 to 40 seconds worth of time to save throughout the course of the run. And so they're just trying to get most of that, or, even a portion of that time save so that they can beat their personal best.
And had Cool Kid been running splits there, I think we would have seen a few best segments. Or at least several times on par with his best segments.
So yeah, Endy's sum of best is 1810. So you take the sum of all these runners' best, and we're probably looking at something close to 18 flat. So there's time for this game to come down. The reason why the world record is still 1845, even though you have a few really good runners grinding it, is that it's just very, very hard. A lot of things need to come together.
I mean, in this short time we've been doing the world record attempt stream, you've seen 3 different runs, all on world record pace, and pretty much in the Wily stages. And so, I mean, this game is really pretty brutal. But again, 4 pretty consistent runners that are really at the top of the game. So it's interesting to see them, work at it here.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to me to see this game in this kind of shape. Like Mega Man 1 is just in great shape as far as what the speed game looks like right now. We have some runners that are taking care of it really well. So now we get to see White Hat try his hand at Wily 2.
And he's pretty much even with his time. So perhaps not world record pace, but still PB pace here. And that, boys and girls, is what a really good Wily 2 zip looks like.
Yeah, that's a good one. One more.
Ooh, and he goes
nice.
for the long zip. Oh man, that fall there is really brutal.
Wily 2.
That second one was alright. Still pretty average, so probably not losing much time, if anything.
Yeah, most of these runners have some really good Wily 2 setups in their PB. It's almost a necessary thing for Wily 2 to go well, just because you don't get PBs in this game unless this stage lets you.
So I'm interested to see White Hat's split here. Definitely going to be behind, but not by much. He's about 6 seconds behind his PB at this point.
His endgame was pretty good.
We'll have to see how it compares this time.
Yeah, I remember actually, I watched this PB live that he is running against, and he just kind of like pulled a PB from nowhere with like a really good endgame. PB by a very small amount, but it was really good Wily 3 and 4 that led him there. Cool Kid's not the only one with God endgame in this PB.
And he gets the double beam set up there.
So fun to see Wily 3 played fast. The stage just blurs by.
In glitchless, I mean, the stage takes, what, several minutes?
Yeah, I don't know about several minutes, but yeah.
The auto-scroller at the end is
it feels like it does, that's for sure. Because, yeah, the long zip that they do at the end there, if you have to walk it, oh man, I'm not sure. Someone else could probably correct me on how much time it loses, but it probably loses at least 20 to 30 seconds. It's a really slow walk. White Hat is amazing at dupes. I'm not sure that I've ever seen him fail it. He calls it the easiest trick in the game. Which for him it seems to be like he walks the walk on that one too.
That backup strat that Cool Kid did before in Wily 3 was he did the screen wraps like we've been seeing before, but instead of using a beam, he used the ceiling. But correct me if I'm wrong, Fast, but I'm fairly certain what he did is frame perfect.
I think so.
Perfect.
That's
I
one of those
perfect turnaround.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I haven't had to go for that. So I'm not sure exactly how difficult it is, but it's something that you don't see people go for. I've seen Cool Kid do it before, and I had forgotten that was even a thing.
So now we got another runner finishing up what has the possibility to be in the 19-0X. And then we've got Dexter and Fireman, and the other two are both in Electman, so we got 4 runs going.
Yeah, we got another hour and a half of world record attempts. I love this.
And again here, just a reminder, this is to build some hype for the Games Done Quick race. Awesome Games Done Quick is taking place next week, starting this coming Sunday on January 8th. And these 4 guys will actually be live racing this game against one another at, I believe, 7:40 Eastern Time on the Games Done Quick Twitch page. So if you'd like to check what that is in your local time, go to gamesdonequick/schedule, and you'll be able to see. And yeah, White Hat pulling out a 19:07 here. Really solid run.
Yeah, it looked like it might even been in 1906, so that's the fastest run we've seen today.
Oh yeah, that is the fastest finish run so far today.
Yep. Yeah, and so, keeping in mind the race that's coming up, PBs are one thing. The gap between the best and the worst PB between the 4 runners is 13 seconds, which first of all is not that much, but in a race, it's really the more consistent runner that's going to win, and just the one that hits the most of his tricks and avoids big mistakes. And any of these 4 runners is definitely capable of winning the race that's going to be happening at Games Done Quick.
There have been 19s live at other events. I think maybe at some Ludendi sponsored events maybe, but there has never been a 19 in Mega Man 1 at a GDQ. So it'll be interesting to see if any of these 4 players can pull one out.
I would not be surprised by 4 19s, which puts a lot of pressure on the runners, but that's how good these guys are. It's something we've never seen before. It could be done by all 4. So, let's see, we have Dexter finishing up bomb here.
He had a little trouble with the bomb zip, so that's going to place him pretty far behind, unfortunately. But still a run that is recoverable, for sure. When you're this early in the game, there's a lot of time saved left.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him, but you never know. The god second half of the game is always just sitting right there.
And Endy going for those ice zips, getting them. We'll see how he fares on the screen. They gave him a little bit of trouble in the race. And he gets the pixel, so we'll see how he deals with the refill here.
Ooh.
Oh!
So the timing is actually pretty tight for that. You basically just only have so long for the beams to stay on screen. And you need to walk toward, for them, you need to walk on them as much as you can because you need to get far enough right to actually be able to zip. You can't start the last zip until you get past the open section. And so the movement there isn't free by any means.
And yeah, the Cutman first choice here, and Dexter also unfortunately lost his run to the Gutsman first screen there. So we're back to the quad box here, so we can watch all 4 players sort of deal with Cutman. We do Cutman first because, yes, it is to make the Electman fight much easier. Electman is easily the hardest boss to use just the Buster on, as each one of his shots, I believe, does 10 damage, and Mega Man has something like 29 or 30 health. And so, very difficult boss, so Cutman helps with that, but it's also because we want to get the Magnet Beam as early as possible, because as you've seen in these runs, the Magnet Beam saves crazy amounts of time by using it to zip and using it as a platform. So, typically you would need to wait until you beat Gutsman to go get the Magnet Beam, and how the run used to go was we would go Gutsman, and then we would go to Cutman, and then Electman third. And that was because Gutsman's weapon is Cut's weakness, and then Cut's weakness is Electman's weakness, and you have Gutsman's weapon to move the blocks to get the Magnet Beam. However, a couple of years ago, a trick was discovered in which you can grab the Magnet Beam early, like you've been seeing in these runs. So now we do Cutman first. Excuse me. We do Cutman first, and then go straight to Electman, just so that we have the weakness. And because Cutman's a very fast boss to Buster. And so we go ahead and go straight to Electman second and use the zip to get into the Magnet Beam corridor area, pick it up, and then we have it for the rest of the run. And then Gutsman ends up being last instead of first.
As much as I like this format, I wonder about having something like this where the goal is to have the fastest completed run of the stream. And so you kind of have to decide whether a run is worth finishing based on the runs that have been finished already.
Right, like Whitehead has the fastest right now.
Right, and so now the goal to beat is 1906 or 1907. I'd be kind of interested to watch something like that too. For games where maybe world record isn't necessarily in reach for 4 different runners, but you could have a competition, something like that. For any game, whether you have a lot of activity at the top for it or not.
Oh man, this makes me want to join the community race later, but I have to commentate it.
Okay, so yeah, so after basically we're going to be doing this until 5 o'clock Eastern. Then there's going to be a community race for Mega Man 1. These 4 runners are going to participate, and everybody is welcome to join and try to beat them. And then after that, we're going to have a couple community races for Mega Man 3. There's a Mega Man 3 tournament that's going to be starting after GDQ.
And if you'd like to participate in those, the Mega Man 1 community race we're going to do, you can go to speedrunslive.com/channel. If you don't have an IRC account, you can go ahead and make one. And then I believe we're doing it through an IRC channel. And you'll be able to enter the race and participate with everybody else.
So yeah, this is RTA at its finest, where you have everybody in the first couple stages, and you just soft locked on the Magnet Beam grab. You don't see that from the top runners very often.
Luckily, that's the only one we've seen so far.
The nightmare, obviously, is that happening in a race, because then you're done. But it's very rare. These runners are, especially if they're focused on not soft locking, they slow down, take their time a little bit.
If you go slow at it, it's really not too tough to not soft lock. Yeah, Twitch's chat is IRC based.
Alright, we got Dexter past the Magnet Beam grab. So we have 3 runners in Elec. Elec definitely a difficult stage to get through. Most of the time losses here tend to be smaller, but
it's due a lot in part, I think, to the game design choice to make it a vertically played stage instead of horizontally. A tricky thing given how many ladders you have to climb while enemies are attacking you. So the Magnet Beam makes it more interesting because you can ascend those ladders quickly and then get to the top faster than climbing them. But at the same time, that interesting game design choice of verticality makes it really tough.
Yeah. When speedrunning this, a lot of the mistakes you can make are like potentially run ending though. Like if you mess up the climb or you mess up the Magnet Beam grab or the corner jump that happens earlier in the stage. Dexter wasted a beam there. So it looks like we might have somebody through Elec. Ice, to me, Ice is where this game starts to get fun. That's where you start zipping, and the pace of the game just really starts to pick up. Elec is kind of a slow stage to play.
When you're doing attempts pretty frequently, it can get disheartening when you can't get out of Cutman and Elecman. So making it to Iceman is sort of like, it's a nice, fresh way to play the game again, because it's a stage you don't see all that often.
Man, I love that mini quarter zip that Cool Kid does there.
I've missed it every time. People keep saying zip, but I have yet to see it because I keep watching the other person.
I'm wondering how much that saves. It's a very short zip, but it definitely looks like it's faster.
Oh, is it at the beginning there?
Yeah, it's right at the bottom. You zip
okay.
and then jump up the ladder.
It can't be that much faster.
Yeah, but it definitely moves you, because you have to turn around a little bit in order to start the zip, but it looks like it's probably, I don't know, at least 15 frames faster.
But hey, he did have a run those 20 seconds ahead, so everybody has to go for it now.
So that's the thing, when Cool Kid's on God Pace, he goes for a lot of strats that nobody else goes for. And so, when there's this much time to save in the game, it's questionable whether you should go for a lot of these frame savers that can potentially lose you time. Or if you should just focus on stuff that's consistent so that you can get more attempts to Wily 2 and challenge Wily 2 on good pace, because Wily 2 is just going to outright kill at least half of your runs, if not more. Nice. Good quarters for Dexter. That was a good ice. We got 3 people on ice, just like that. So we had everybody in cut, and now testament to these runners, they didn't get stuck there that long.
refresh the streams here. I seem to be a little bit behind.
Can't compete with my new fastest net.
Oh, please. Skynet forever. What was the name for your internet before?
Fasternet.
Fasternet, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Now you're on fastest net, I'm assuming?
Yeah. See what we got here. So yeah, we're having 3 runners in the teeth of a run. Actually, I missed Cool Kid's split time there.
Something sub 6, like 55.
Okay.
I missed it as well, but just going off when he's entering Fireman.
Yeah, it looks like all 3 are actually kind of on similar pace, and probably going to need a little bit of help, you know, in the later stages. When I say help, you know, they need to play well, but then also the game has to just not outright troll them.
Dexter with a hearty amount of beams entering the corridor here. We're going to go ahead and stay in the quad formation just due to the fact that we got 3 runners in Fireman, which is kind of random that we've got 3 all on pretty decent pace.
Yeah, they got like a little race going again.
So Cool Kid's only got 1 beam for the zips, and Dexter came in something like 7 seconds behind his PB.
Yeah, his routing for Fireman stage seems to leave him without beams for the zips often.
I think a lot of it is chalked down to that 1 beam he keeps messing up on the 2 big jugs.
Right.
Because in Fireman, it really is that tight sometimes.
Okay, so
you place 1 extra beam.
So Cool Kid got an 8:37 there, which is 2 seconds behind his PB pace, which again is really front-loaded. White Hat struggling at the beginning of Fire in that one. That's gonna be it for him. So we got 2 still going here. I want to say Cool Kid's pace is probably, what, a good 7-8 seconds faster than Dexter's right now. But both definitely within striking distance. Oh, that's a rare death.
Oh man, yeah, that is quite rare.
So basically there you're trying to place a beam to the left to get Mega Man to face that direction, and then you press up and it ejects you out of the zip and you zip to the right. If you try to do it too quick and like push up before you get that left beam in, you just eject right up into the spikes, which is what happened to Dexter there.
And it's actually interesting, you don't even need a beam. The beam placement is more so just to be facing left. So you can do it without ever actually placing a beam, so long as you shoot to the left, or if you were already facing left entering the zip. But you still have to wait. There is a pause you have to take. And placing the beam just so happens to give you like perfect timing.
Another, man, Bomb Man loves Cool Kid. He got that pattern in his PB, he got it in that God run he just had, and then he got it again here. This is really good pace. We're spoiled by the pace he was on previously, but this is
that's
still
10:22.
Yeah.
What was his pace in the previous one? I know I shouldn't really be asking. But
10:09, and then in his PB it was 10:19. But again, all that time saving Wily 1 is still sitting there.
Right.
Actually, his guts wasn't perfect in his PB by any stretch either.
Wow, the Met's really trolling him here with double drops. It's one of the rare locations where you really don't want to drop. Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. It's really tight what he's trying to go for, especially when you get the drops. Because it slows your movement down.
Instead of just running head-on up those jumps, you have to actually pause and think for a moment about how you're going to maneuver around them so as not to pick them up. Because if you pick any of them up, the global cycle on those moving platforms keeps going. So they're not in position for you to maneuver the screen the correct way.
Yeah. In the race that we had before this RTA started, Cool Kid died there as well, and it actually cost him the race. I think the margin he lost by was less than that. Again, Cool Kid strats. Because what did we see? I think it was Dexter. We saw somebody, I think it was Dexter, that messed up the movement in the beginning there and kind of slowed down.
Right.
To make sure that they got it. And, that's the difference. You have to kind of make those decisions on the fly when something doesn't quite go your way. Do you try to push forward and hit a trick that's faster that now has a smaller timing window because you messed up? Or, do you play it safe and take the, 3-second time loss?
And it's one of the rare moments in the game, I think one of only two, in which you've got a global timer going on that stage, or that specific screen, and there's no RNG involved. Like with some of those moving flying guys and Iceman and stuff, they're on a timer too, but they're sort of random as to where they go on a set pattern. But with those moving platforms, it is really set where they're going to be, so you have to play the same roughly every time for the first part of the screen.
Right. Yeah, so anything that slows you down messes up your ability to do your normal timing there. And that strat is pretty tight anyway. Okay. ND 648 out of ice. That's a solid time.
Only about, a little over a second behind his PB, which is, again, within 5 seconds of the world record.
Yeah, and all these runners have spots in the end game where they have a lot of time. So ND missed 2 dupes and Wily 3, and I think that cost him about 10 seconds.
Each dupe is 5, I think, yeah, so 10.
Nice start to fire for ND.
Choosing to save a beam there on that ladder.
Yeah, it's really fun to see this slightly different strats, like the different ammo management. You kind of build your run from all the potential strats that are available, and you decide what you want to go for, what you don't, where you want to play it safe, and where you want to really go for it.
Pretty solid Fireman so far. Decent zip. That setup is tough.
Yeah, what it ended up doing is just costing him some beams.
He shoots a really long beam there on that long zip.
Yeah. Yeah, he had to slow his movement down so he didn't eject all the way into the pit.
I wonder if he uses a visual cue of the penguin.
Yeah, I think so. So you can trigger that zip a lot earlier and you'll zip less far, but you don't have to wait as long. I haven't actually ever timed that. But it seems everybody has something slightly different they do there as well.
I've always gone for the old boy strat. I just do the shortest one possible.
Nice. Yeah, I trigger right away. Okay, so yeah, we're still in there with ND. It's a solid fire stage. For reference, he is 2 seconds behind both his own PB and the world record pace. With time to save later. I actually really enjoy that first part of Bomb, where you're treating those little fleas like a shooting gallery.
And depending on their movement, you've got to adapt a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
And they give there are 3 different patterns, and once you know them all, it's fun to shoot perfecly off screen and hit guys that even come on screen yet.
Yeah, just right as they appear.
That whole first screen though, I enjoy that full first screen because it's really consistent. And it's a nice long screen where you can just do good execution that isn't that tough and see results.
Right. You're not reliant on nailing something frame perfect to save 3 seconds. Which Andy did. Cool, that's a solid enough Bomb Man stage.
I agree.
You're basically just trying to get as far into the run as you can without making a mistake so bad that it kills your run. That's often what PB attempts are all about. Usually,
Unless Cool Kid is foregoing the 8F ice strat now. It's like the only thing I've contributed to the game. Oh no! Wait, the 8F jump.
The 8F jump, man. That's
Natua, don't yell at me.
Legendary.
Man.
That's never going away.
That's a legendary trick. I stopped going for it like halfway through my spree of sub 20 attempts. I decided it was time to say goodbye.
But like it or not, it'll still follow you.
It's a beautiful trick. So hopefully Endy doesn't struggle too much with the Guts screen here like some of the other runners have been having a little difficulty. It's a very tough screen. You see he lands on that moving platform just for a moment.
Yeah.
Oh, and he gets a full zip. Nice.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's something runners don't seem to have a very high percentage success rate on that one. This is the God Gut stage so far. Huh. He had 3 beams and he didn't beam over the Stomper. Or maybe he only has 2? Oh, he only has 2. My mistake.
I think he wanted an extra. No,
he had 3.
I think he had 3.
Yeah, he just was building up a little buffer in case he missed one.
Yeah.
This is a fight I don't get how people are so consistent at.
I hate this fight. It's probably my least favorite thing in the game.
As soon as I say it.
Still 1201 though.
Yeah, he can definitely PV with the 1201, but he's got to be pretty disappointed about that Guts.
Plus, if Cool Kid's Robot Master is 1150 and Endy just got a 1201 and he can save 10 seconds over Cool Kid in Wily 1, he could be theoretically on world record pace if he gets this zip here.
Yeah, he's right there. Like, Dexter had a 12 flat, 6 robos in his PB. And his PB could have been world record pace easily. But when you get something like 1201, you're really asking for very high level execution on the Wily 2 zips. You can't afford to waste much time there at all.
And I think he's 1 pixel too high, maybe.
That's a bummer. That's going to be pretty tough to recover from.
He does have 10 seconds in Wily 3. So at this point, if you miss that trick, basically what you have to say to yourself is, okay, now all I need is the God Wily 2 and to get all the zips and dupes in Wily 3. No big deal, right?
Yeah, just play perfect. Just be the task. That's all you need to do.
So he is going to skip the weapon ammo in hopes that he can get good zips and save like 2 seconds over grabbing them.
Yeah, a lot of the times when you're running behind like this, you have to kind of change up your strats a little bit to like try to take advantage of the best possible RNG. So, then you hope for the big jug because like you kind of need it, and so you like adapt your playstyle accordingly. When I say big jug, I mean the large ammo refill in Wily 2. Ooh.
Wily 2.
Yeah, that was... Man, the Yellow Devil's been giving some problems. We saw Cool Kid struggle with it a little earlier, too. In order to do that fight fast, so his eye can appear in a random spot. I'm not sure how many different spots it can appear in, but it can appear like all the way up at the top or like down in his like chest.
I think it's 3 or 4.
Yeah, so it's hard to place an elect beam that'll cover all those locations. Okay.
He still gets it.
Yeah.
That's tough to recover.
There
But he gets
you
the...
see.
Yeah. If you don't get it immediately, you get some weird stuff.
Yeah, there you can see what Wily 2 can do to you. That was pretty fun. So let's see, we got White Hat and Bomb. And we got CK and Ice. Man, no matter where you lose a run, you just got another one going.
It's so hype. Yo, there's the 8. Alright, we're still in there. My strat is still in the game. We're good.
I think out of these runners, we pretty much just see Cool Kid skip the ice there.
Which, Cool Kid's Magnet Beam strat is really tough. It doesn't look too difficult at first, but I think it's probably one of the harder strats in the stage.
I think he says it's a 1.5 seconds faster, which seems like a lot to me because I thought we'd think it would just be one menu, but it definitely saves time because you don't have to switch to ice.
Really? It's 2 seconds?
I'd have to think about like where that saves all that time from.
Because it's definitely one full menu.
Because it doesn't seem like you're using any extra movement.
No,
like,
and you don't have to use an extra select or anything. Maybe it's 2 menus and I'm just not thinking about it right.
Because instead of going from Buster to Magnet, it's Buster to Ice to Magnet, so it should only be one extra menu. And menus aren't that slow in Mega Man 1, but...
No, when you get good at them, they're really fast.
But I will say it is faster, so if you can do it, you probably should.
Okay, it is one menu, so yeah, I guess it's just the time you save from one menu, which is about a second, probably, maybe a little more than a second.
I'm not sure which strat causes more lag. It doesn't look like it's a huge difference between the two, but that will definitely play into it. So there you see, oh no. Okay. That's interesting. I thought Cool Kid had the pixel there, but apparently he did not.
Sub-pixels, man.
There's like two or three different pixels where you can jump and actually like trigger the wrap, but it doesn't zip you. So he had one of those. Or maybe it's like one pixel that zips and then one pixel that just wraps and doesn't zip.
Dexter gets the double zip again in Iceman. I don't know if we're actually on the double or not.
I think we're on CK and White Hat.
Okay, so you can't see the other two.
White Hat he's just about to be through Guts. He's going to need to have really good Wily stages because that was about a 12:21, which is about 11 seconds behind his own PB there.
I think we're good to stay on the double.
Man, if nothing else, we saw 1009 bomb and 1140
run, yeah,
and 1142 today. Like that's.
I saw him.
That's pretty incredible.
Select bomb man, and I thought about that run for a second.
Yeah. That's the type of pace you don't see every day or ever.
So we got another runner going into the Wily stages here.
It's an
he
interesting
does
setup.
Get this dip, but he loses a ton of beams.
Yeah, like you get to try it a few times while you're standing on the beam there. But yeah, beams it's so precious in the Wily stages. You can't really afford to be wasting a lot of them.
Oh wow, he almost got destroyed there 2 times on that screen.
Oh man.
He has 2 health. If he gets hit by anything by the Yellow Devil, he's gone.
That's a really obnoxious screen, casually.
He ends up wasting 1 more beam. He's gonna have to hope for the big jug here.
Meanwhile, Cool Kid threw bomb with about a 10:30, which is a little behind. He's about 10 seconds behind his own pace, but that could all be made up in one stage. Because of the way Wily 2 works, like you're just, as a Mega Man 1 runner, you're kind of trained to push as many runs into Wily stages as you can.
Feels good to get there. And then it feels bad when it doesn't work out.
Yeah, it's a pretty RTA-friendly speed game because you do see people get out of the early game quite frequently, especially these runners because they're very consistent. Just because it's just the way the run is designed. A lot of the really difficult like run breaking moments are at the end. And so even if you're a little slow in the beginning, you want to give yourself an opportunity to challenge the end game and try to have as many attempts at as you can.
Oh man, and he struggles with the magnet beam placement there. And then gets this so fast. But gets sub-pixeled anyway.
I think that's the first time we've seen the sub-pixel happen today.
Is Fire actually faster on this fight?
So Fire's not... You want to be on Fire anyway, so I think... No, actually I have no idea.
Also, Cool Kid 1201.
Definitely not faster to fall in the pit there.
Oh, you don't think?
No.
See, I thought dying might be faster.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off one.
It is. So, Cool Kid's what, like 11 seconds behind his PB entering Wily 1?
Yeah, 10, 11 seconds. So good Wily 1 and he'll be right back on pace. And then you just hope for the God Wily 2.
Nope.
Ugh. Such a hard strat.
It is really, really difficult.
They're trying to place that beam on the right pixel while on the move. And they do get a couple shots at it, but it's pretty difficult to do. You'll see a lot of times they'll like stop and set up one of their zips by just jumping straight up and placing a beam. Those tend to be a lot easier to set up.
It's also interesting that a lot of those zips where you stop and jump up are the same muscle memory, because a lot of the areas in the game have the same platform heights to the ceiling.
Right.
So a lot of those zips, like Iceman, and there's one in Wily 4 right before the boss door.
Yeah, the lateralus bomb man setup. Yeah,
those are all exactly the same.
Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. You can set up the Wily 1 zip in a similar way as those ones, but it feels to me like the height is different.
I always thought that the height was a little bit different. I think it's like a half block different or something like that.
Seems like you have to place it just slightly lower, but I could be wrong.
Because I feel pretty comfortable with that ice strat where you just jump up and place the beam. But when I always did Wily 1 zip, I had to go for a different setup because it felt different. Oh, and Cool Kid left away.
It's the 2 cycle. Shoutouts to Mega Man 3.
Shoutouts to Turtles.
Just to remind everybody, so this stream started with a race of these 4 runners that are going to participate in a race at Games Done Quick, 7:40 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Following this, we're doing PB attempts here. Everybody's trying to beat the world record for this game. We're going to be doing that for a little bit, like about an hour more, and then we're going to have a community race of Mega Man 1, where everybody's invited to race against these 4 on Speedruns Live. And then we are going to be doing community races of Mega Man 3 after that. So great day of Mega Man.
And if you want to jump into the Mega Man 1 stream, if you pull ahead, there's a chance you could be featured on the stream, and I will commentate your run and judge you. So
you want that? I'm telling you.
You do. So feel free to jump in on that community race. I would do it, but I've got to stick to this. Plus, I would probably play terribly. I haven't played since my 19. So feel free to jump in on that. Again, if you would like to, go to speedrunslive.com/channel and unless you have an IRC client of choice, in which case you can use that. And register yourself on that IRC if you aren't already, and join that race. It'll be at 5 p.m. Eastern, so about a little under an hour from now. And then you will be able to participate against all these runners, and so that'll be pretty hype.
And here we have the dream RCA scenario of everybody in cut.
100% Cutman, 100% hype.
Welcome to Reset Hell. So first stages in real-time attack tend to be very reset heavy because you go for just ridiculous fast strats that save no time because it's so early in the run you can reset if you fail it. So you tend to find that these stages are played very, very, like, way faster than other stages compared to the type of pace. Compared to the type of strats that you could do, you do pretty much all of them in the first stage. But so far, I mean, we've been doing this for an hour and a half or so, and we've only had a couple times where everybody's been in cut.
Yeah, and honestly, it's pretty much a wash whether you get some world record pace runs, and we've not only had like 3 to 4 world record pace runs going into Wily stages already, we've also had what is easily one of the best runs ever in this game to make it to Wily 3. So really solid showing by all 4 runners, and you should definitely give all 4 of them a follow. I believe I can do a chat command or something fancy here. Yeah, so follow those guys for sure. These 4, on any given night, you could probably find 1 or 2 of them streaming world record attempts, especially leading up to AGDQ this coming week. So definitely give them a follow.
I like the idea of participating in one of these chase the record type events because, like, as a runner, you sometimes get self-conscious about the early resets because you know it's not good product. Like, it's a necessary part of the process, and you're going to spend a lot of time in the first stage, but you know it's not like super watchable. But when you know there's like 3 other people going through the same thing, and like somebody is probably, you know, giving the viewers like something to watch late in the run, you know, it takes a lot of the pressure of the resets off you, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Often just having somebody to like race against pretty casually is really fruitful. I remember going into my SGDQ run, Nadua and I were doing like pretty casual runs just back to back every day. And it's nice to know that other people hate Cutman as much as you do. That's always reassuring to know that everyone hates that guy. It's really just the worst person. Or robot, rather.
Yeah. It seems like a fun event to participate in. It's definitely been a fun event to commentate, to watch.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you and I got to commentate this. It's a lot of fun.
Apparently, so Cool Kid got a 212 cut, which 212 is insane. That's
what? There was a 212?
It's unfathomable to me.
I have gotten like a 214 maybe twice and a 213-19 like one time.
Yeah, my best is definitely 213. I can't imagine, like, with my current strats, there's no way. 212 is impossible, so I need to get good.
Cab, not a day goes by I'm not sad about wearing a USA jersey at the race. I think about it every day. I don't think White Hat will want to wear it, but I will gladly wear the USA jersey.
Do you think White Hat is going to wear his trademark White Hat for his race?
Yeah, of course. It's stream branding. Gotta put yourself out there. Cool Kid really struggling. Exit. Yeah, Cool Kid likes top exit a lot. It's a strat that not a lot of the runners go for if they miss it once.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people will go for it once, and if they fail, they'll just go back down to the bottom. Oh! That was a sketchy climb from Indy, but he survived it. Everything had been really good up to that point, so this is actually very good pace. He's ahead. So yeah, we'll see what Andy can do here in Ice. This is where the run begins, but he's put himself in good position by starting off on world record pace.
Yeah, this is still Chase for the record, by the way. We've got all 4 runners still going for world record attempts. We're not going to switch the format to the community race until about 45 minutes from now, so we still got some solid time left for attempts.
Nice pixel. See the double zip here?
Nice.
Man, I love seeing that. That was really good.
Oh, man.
Oh, this killed him in the race as well. This pixel. You never expect that pixel to fail you as a Mega Man 1 runner, because you just have to do it so often. But it's such a rhythm thing also, when you see someone fail it once, like, we've seen Andy, he's gotten it, like, first try almost every time, but the 2 times he's missed it, he's just, like, chain failed it. Because your muscle memory just is off, like, you just can't find it.
And it is a huge mentality thing, too. The rhythm gets off, you know, you miss one and you're like, oh, why can't I just get the zip consistent? And then you miss it several times.
Yeah, or then maybe you rush it because you know you're behind. Like there's,
yeah.
You know,
as a Mega Man 1 runner, it's hard, and as a speedrunner in general, it's definitely hard to keep the mentality up in a lot of these situations. So even just doing world record attempts for as long as these guys have been playing, I mean, they've been playing for what, like 2 hours now? Sometimes it's tough to play a short game that long and not see too many results. But for them all being good sports and putting up really consistent play, so
yeah,
have a good showing for you guys.
And if I'm not mistaken, each of these runners has at least gotten into Wily Castle stages on pace once.
Which sometimes doesn't happen in a 6-hour stream, so.
But yeah, we're back to cut and elect. Although Dexter pretty close to being able to escape.
Interesting strat there from Dexter to take a damage boost on that first beam of electricity.
In the one with the 2 beams of electricity?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first person I saw doing that was Andy.
I guess it's to save a beam.
Yeah, and then you can beam in the corridor. It seems a little faster to me.
I used to do just wait. I would walk over and wait at the bottom for it to disappear, because it really, in walking over, you run out most of its time on screen. But I guess the damage boost would be faster.
Can 12 seconds behind PB really be called world record pace? For Cool Kid, for Andy, absolutely. Because their time is front loaded and they have a lot of time to save in castle stages. So in this case, yeah, they can be 12 seconds behind in world record this game, like without a doubt. Now, are they likely to do it? No, but the thing about speedrunning is, you know, a lot of these people have put tens of thousands, you know, thousands if not tens of thousands of attempts into this game, and you're waiting for the one breakthrough, and that might not happen every time, but you have to have that like positive, optimistic approach as a speedrunner that this is the time that I'm going to, you know, play the end game perfectly or whatever.
Dexter really struggling with the Iceman zips there.
Ice is tough. That's like I think I was saying before we started this stream that when I was doing 46 Robot Masters, Ice was where I would spend all my practice before the race would start. Like if I could, Ice is such a potential disaster if you fail it. It requires a lot from you, and there's not a lot of things you can do. If something goes wrong, you're in bad shape.
And it's gotten to the point where if you miss anything in Iceman, you've got to reset, essentially.
Yeah. ND and White Hat being somewhat newer runners of Mega Man 1 probably don't have more than, you know, a couple thousand, few thousand maybe attempts of this game. Whereas, who knows with Dexter and Cool Kid, they've been playing this game so long. Tens of thousands may be overselling it, but I'm not sure. Like, they might have put in... They've probably put in at least 10,000 attempts.
And again, that also includes attempts which never make it out of Cutman, or an attempt where you see a non-50k and you're like, I'm mad, I'm going to reset.
Right.
I've done that plenty of times.
Luckily, the first stage select is free.
Yes. So you can just keep mashing start and resetting.
Okay, so we have Cool Kid starting up Ice here. Nice. I like that setup so everybody has kind of a different setup for how they try to get their pixel. And really, it's just kind of what feels comfortable for you. Either way, like, typically you're having to do a frame perfect trick, and Nintendo games running at 60 frames per second, you're talking about either hitting or releasing your input within 1/60th of a second in order to get the right height you're looking for. And that
I know we talk about how difficult a lot of these zips are. Some of them do have visual cues, so you at least know if you have the right pixel on the setup beam. In Iceman particularly, you use the clouds pretty extensively to know what pixel height you're at. And then in the other stages, really the only reference point usually is either a ladder or the points at the top. It just so happens that the perfect pixel to have a magnet beam just before the long beam at the top is one that is where the top pixel of the magnet beam is just butting up against the bottom pixel of the points outline at the top. And so that, if you get that, you know you've got the right pixel. So that does help, at least to know, like, okay, I can jump on this beam and get the right height, or no, I should just keep walking. So that, you know, is sort of helps with consistency, but at the same time, it's down to muscle memory too.
So Cool Kid's like 3 seconds ahead of what was already a good pace in his PB, but it's just ho-hum to him now with the pace he had earlier. But he had, what, like a 6:37 or something earlier. But yeah, don't let that fool you. He's on extremely good pace right now.
Oh, okay, he got that big dog set.
Vindication. It's pretty fast to set it up that way, but you can see it doesn't seem to be super consistent, and a lot of times you end up wasting a beam. Nice. Good stage.
Plenty of beam to go for the corridors as well.
Yep. Yeah, he's in good shape here. Nice. Ah, too high. All the lag in the world after missing that.
Doesn't really lose much time over his PB, though, in missing that.
No, he missed one there in his PB as well.
And that is the toughest corridor to miss one in, for sure.
Yeah, so he saved he saved time in that stage. It was a really good stage, other than just like one missed beam. So he's now like 6 seconds ahead. Actually, he could end up topping his 6 robots from the other one, because his guts wasn't that good there, and he's probably only like a couple seconds behind where he was in that run. Cool Kid is a magician, man. He's done a lot for other Mega Man games as well, so like he'll play another Mega Man I don't know, he just seems like he'll just mess around with strats there and like find strats for runners of other games just because he's Cool Kid.
He'll take like a week break from Mega Man 1 and go discover stuff in MM3 or...
Cool. He had to climb the ladder a little bit there, but he got the zip, so that more than makes up for it.
And he gets this as well.
Yep. That's one area where you'll see a faster setup there. I think White Hat is the only one of these 4 that goes for it. But Cool Kid pretty much always goes for the fastest strats, but that one he's lacking on. It's not much different, though. But then again, a lot of his small time saves aren't much different either. So we're at 10, like a very low 10:14, which is very fast. 5 seconds ahead of his PB. God Gutsman will probably be on the same insane pace he was on earlier that none of us have seen before.
The 100K trolling him.
Yeah, he got it again.
And there was a health drop at the beginning, but it shouldn't mess him up too much. It was pretty fast. Oh my god, that was so close.
Wow.
That was so close.
No fear, man. Like, if I got that drop at the beginning, I'm abandoning that strat, but... Not cool, kid. You got it.
Not a terrific Gutsman stage so far, but he's getting through, which is 3/4 of the battle for sure. So the trick they're using to one-shot bosses is called the select glitch. In pausing the game while a weapon is out, you reset enemies' hitboxes, and you also reset your hit stun so you don't get like sent backwards. So it's a really useful trick for shooting like one shot and killing bosses. Also, that corridor was tricky.
Gutsman stage is impossible.
It used to be so easy without the magnet beam.
Right? Did get the ass grab though. So that's an 11:55.
5 seconds behind.
Yep. Which means a good Wily won and he'll be ahead of his PB. Alright, let's see. This first screen zip has been pretty much 50-50 today from what we've seen from the runners.
Big jug. Alright, here we go. Oh, man.
That's rough. So he can still save time on this split, because in his PB, he missed that and then also fell down into one of those pits.
And falling in the pits actually loses, like, a solid 2 seconds.
Right, so good rest of the stage, he'll pick up a little bit of time, and then there's always time to save in Wily 2. Just a matter of whether you're going to get it or not.
Those jumping guys really trolled him a lot on that beginning part.
To give an idea, his Wily 2, I think, was like a 204 or 205, and I'm pretty sure like 157 has been done, if not faster.
He foregoes the drops, which makes sense.
But yeah, he's gonna need an excellent Wily 2. He did miss the Wily 1 zip, so we'll see. I'm still thinking he's going to save a couple seconds on this stage. He was +5 coming into it.
Very quick kill.
14:04, so yeah, now he's +3, so he saved 2 seconds. Alright, Wily 2. So many Mega Man 1 runs come down to this stage. When you're behind, it can save your run. When you're ahead, it can definitely kill it. One of the things I'm really looking forward to in the GDQ race is just how much of an equalizer this stage is as well. Like, if you're ahead, are you going to go for it? If you're behind, you pretty much have to. Okay, that was a good setup.
I have a feeling all four will go for it regardless. I mean,
Definitely
it depends
possible.
on the beam count too, but I have a feeling they'll all go for it.
Oh, get up there. This might be a little too slow.
Yeah, that wasn't... The first one was alright. The second one was great. Oh, and then he falls in, and you soft lock here. There's nothing you can do unless you have enough beams to climb.
Yeah, that's pretty unlucky. It was probably too slow to PB anyway, but then the subpixel, there's nothing you can really do about that.
But the goal now is to beat 1907, right?
Right. Everybody's got enough time to do that. We'll be doing world record attempts here for another half hour or so. And then we're going to be having a community race of Mega Man 1, which everybody's welcome to join. So basically, when you're stuck in the wall there, so I'm probably not the perfect person to describe this one, but when the screen transitions, you need a good subpixel in order to jump off of it, and then you trigger the wrap. If you don't have the subpixel, you'll see him like he just happened there. It just walk right out of the wall. The one thing I'm not sure of is I think that's a buffered input.
It is.
Okay. So assuming your subpixel is good, then that part shouldn't be difficult to do. But if you don't have the subpixel, you don't have it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you buffer the input on the screen transition.
That's such a nightmare strat that I haven't even bothered to learn it.
Oh man, Iceman killing Endy again.
Yeah. When you fall and get hit by the bullet, it's really hard to get back up in time. Because there's like nowhere for him to hide. There was 2 bullets like directly above him. And here we are.
Back to Cutman RTA.
I think this is maybe the 3rd time we've been back to just full-on cut.
Fewer than I expected.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've been doing a good job of pushing deep into the game. But yeah, Wily 2 has been Wily 2 for sure. There are a number of runs that could have been world record going into that, but that's really where runs are made or lost. Hey, we got someone in the life, man. Dexter's the hero we need.
We got almost 4,000 people watching MM1.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really hoping that this format, everybody likes it as much as I do, because we'll be seeing a lot more of it, because I think this format can work for a number of different games. So I'm interested, because the next one, there's going to be a Chase the Record for Super Mario World 96 Exit, which is another good game. I mean, that record has been continuously improved lately, and by multiple people. So it makes a lot of sense to have it in this type of format, but it's also a longer run. So I'm curious how that will, translate to this type of format. And you probably see less of, being in cut, like, or in the first stage like this. But I'm not as familiar with 96 exits and where the critical reset points are.
Right. I know there are 4 or 5 guys right now who are really contesting for the SMW 96 record. And recently with the 122 or 123, one of those, really bringing that game down to seriously low times. So 96 would be really hyped for this. So stay tuned for that. That'll be sometime after AGDQ, likely. Date to be determined. So
there's a lot of stuff happening in late January. So there's a Mega Man X2 tournament. There's a Mega Man 3 tournament. There's going to be the 96 exit. There's probably a lot of stuff that I don't even know about. That's just like the communities I'm familiar with.
Try to ignore that aggressively loud dog. I have new neighbors and they are just lovely. I'll try to mute when I'm not talking.
Personally, I don't even hear it, so I think you're good. See a bunch of oh my dogs in chat otherwise. Yeah, so I mean, if people have suggestions for games they think would fit this format well, particularly games that have a lot of competition at the top, and multiple people that are active in it, definitely contact Fiesel or Sinister One. They're the ones that are putting this together, and big thanks to Fiesel and Sinister One for going through all the work that they have been. It's a busy time of year for them too, with all the events happening, and so to put something like this together has been great. But anyway, let them know if there's games that you think would fit this format well, and they'll see what they can do and about creating one.
Yeah, definitely just let them know on Twitter, and of course thank you to them for choosing Mega Man 1 as the first game. This game is super hype, and the 1845 is actually fresh to the person who just asked. It's last week?
Yeah, it's like a week or two old tops.
So definitely, again, once more, definitely give all 4 of these runners a follow. They are the 4 best in this game by a pretty solid margin, and so they are very worth your time. And again, any given night in the next week or so and afterwards, it is likely that at least one of them will be doing world record attempts on any given night. So definitely I'm going to type that runners command one more time right now just to give them a little boost there.
To give an idea of like the competition in this game right now, the oldest of the PBs for these 4 runners is Dexter's former world record in September. So we're talking 3 months. All like White Hat PB'd 2 days ago. Cool Kid and Andy have both PB'd within the last like week or two. So like they're at the top of their games right now.
The 4 of them definitely in peak performance right now.
Yeah, and going into the GDQ race, like that's exactly what you would hope.
White Hat has the slowest PB out of the 4 of them, and he's still playing better than really anybody ever has. Except
Right.
for these 3 right now.
Yeah, and again, he has the low time in this stream. He finished a 19:06, I think.
He does have the best time by far of finished times this stream.
But yeah, for those of you that aren't used to watching speedrun streams, it can be pretty common to see runs really stick in the early game. In one whole stream, you'll see them get into the mid game. We've seen each of them get into the mid game, a couple times. But they're going after really good times, and the resets are necessary because they're going for all the hardest tricks there are. And some of them, if you miss it, you have lost too much time and you can't make it back up in the end of it. So, luckily here we're seeing 4, so we're quadrupling our chances of seeing something get into the late game, and we've seen some really good pace runs today. So yeah, we have Andy and Ice here. Unfortunately missed his zip in the first screen.
Still getting the long zip for the wrap though, which is good.
Yeah, he got the faster setup there too. A lot of people will stop and like jump straight up and place one beam, and he did it on the move, which saves some time.
So he missed the pixel here for the zip, but I think Andy's goal at this point is just to conquer the mountain that is Iceman right now.
Man, it's a rough
and he does
stage.
get this. He does get the setup for the wrap, so he's still good to go.
Yeah, you don't lose that much time if you get the backup. Honestly, the most important thing is these corridor zips. If you get both of them, like no matter what the rest of the stage goes like, you are probably not having a terrible stage. Man, this game is relentlessly
Wow,
unforgiving.
he got really trolled by that last one. That looked completely right.
Ice is a tough stage.
Sometimes it feels like you can't get out of cut, and then you get out of cut. It feels like you can't get out of Elec, and then you get out of Elec, and it feels like you can't get out of Iceman.
Yeah, sometimes you get to like if your early game is good enough, you can avoid some of these, or you can stomach some of these time losses to the point where you're still on pace. But if enough mistakes pile up, nothing to do but hit that reset button. Wow, soft lock from Cool Kid.
I think that's the first one, maybe. I think there was actually one other.
Yeah, I saw one from
maybe.
Epi. Yeah, I may have missed another, but yeah, they're pretty rare, but definitely the nightmare.
Record is 1845 by Cool Kid.
This game is one continuous troll, and so this game doesn't have a lot of random elements. Of all the classic Mega Man games, it probably has the least. So it really is mostly dependent on your own skill. There's some random things that can ruin your run, but the troll is just how difficult it is. You're just dealing with frame perfect after frame perfect after frame perfect, and the game just never lets up.
And the majority of those frame perfects are pixel perfect too.
Yeah, so like the breather, there's really even the breather stage is still relentlessly difficult, and you can lose 5-6 seconds on it, no problem.
And you would think because there's no magnet beam that Cutman would be the easiest, right? But the thing is, since you're doing it first and so often, you get in this mindset that, well, why not reset if my time isn't great? And so you drill yourself on Cutman, and so Cutman actually ends up being really difficult because you go for all the hardest stuff and you want your precision to be the best. Because otherwise you're like, oh, well, I started the run slow. And so, you know, Cool Kids pulled out a couple 213s, and I think I saw one other, or a couple from Endy as well. And 213 is tough.
The most competitive classic Mega speedrun is definitely Mega Man 1 right now, just because there's so many people playing it at such a high level. You have games like Mega Man 5 that have a lot of competition at the top, but rarely do you see everybody going for it all at once like we have with Mega Man 1 right now. It's pretty special.
Right, and like there are plenty of very low records in the classic Mega Man games. But the difference, again, yeah, is that in this one, the top 4 are really consistently streaming attempts all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of activity in Mega Man 1.
Which is so funny, because up until recently, it was probably the least active.
Yeah, these games kind of go in cycles. A lot of times, seeing someone else play a game at a high level, if you're, you know, a high-level runner of the game, like, kind of inspires you to play it. Like, you can kind of commiserate over all the times you got subpixeled and all the bad luck you got. But you see top level runners push each other all the time, and it's always fun when that happens.
Yeah, the drive is real when somebody beats your time.
So now we have White Hat here in Ice. Man, struggling with this first screen zip also. Again, very, very difficult stage. Before the attempt started, we saw, you know, everybody's kind of practice routines. They were trying some last-minute things to brush up on, and 2 of the 4 runners chose to practice Ice, which should kind of give you an idea of, you know, how the runners view this stage.
If you're going for all the strats in Iceman, then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 frame and pixel perfect tricks. If you count every wrap as well, then it's 9.
Yeah, there's just a lot you have to do in this stage. And again, like Cut, you know, it's early enough in the run that you're more willing to reset mistakes over it. If you lose 10 seconds in Wily 1, like you're half the run's behind you, there's not as much time saves in front.
So we got about 20 minutes left of this format, and then we're going to switch over, assuming nobody's on a run in that point, we're going to switch over to the community race. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and hop on the Speedruns Live IRC channel and get registered for that. I'm assuming the channel will open up relatively soon in the next 15 or 20 minutes here. Already open. Sick. So if you would like to enter that Mega Man 1 community race, you can go ahead and enter the channel now and go ahead and claim your spot. It's not like there are a finite amount, so get in there and start practicing and watch the stream to learn some secret strats. And then it should be fun. And we'll have some commentators for that as well. So,
for asking if Iceman stage is pure skill, it is mostly pure skill. There is an RNG element, but it can be overcome with good enough execution. Basically, when you're trying to set up the zip on the platform screens, the bullet patterns will be different, and so sometimes you have to navigate, like trying to drop down and get the refill, and then back up through like a maze of bullets. And if they're in the wrong spot, there's not much you can do to avoid them. But if if you execute perfectly, you can still do it with that. So.
And also the birds at the end are actually, if you do the same movement every time, they will move the same every time. Now, doing that is a tall order, but yeah.
The biggest RNG factor in the run is Wily 2, because you can execute the wrap perfectly and then just get subpixeled out of the wall. And if that happens, your run's over. Or it can be over. You can save. I think there's one type of subpixel you can save, but
sometimes if you get subpixeled but you have enough beam left and you feel comfortable, there is a strat to climb back up.
But the type of subpixel... Yeah.
It's the way the zip used to be done.
Right. Yeah, I think we saw Endy set up the zip from the ground in the race. He beamed all the way back up.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. So, got a lot going on right now. So we're focused on Bomb, but we have 2 runners in Ice as well. So we're gonna have, with 20 minutes left, we got one more push here. to answer if anyone's been close to 1845 yet, the best finished run right now is 1906. That said, there has been like a pretty much fastest paced ever run by Cool Kid that failed in Wily 2. So it was really good pace. Like he was basically, I think he was like 15 seconds ahead of PB pace coming out of Wily 1. And his PB is the world record. So we're talking about potential for like an 1830. And also his Wily 2, his PB, I think he lost like 7 or 8 seconds over his best Wily 2. So,
and losing 7 or 8 there is still good.
Right. It's just
it's that those tricks are so hard that even getting an average one is pretty solid.
Yeah, so we got White Hat through Bomb going into the last Robot Master stage ahead of his PB.
And again, White Hat has the fastest completed run in this stream session, so maybe he's looking to improve that, get a PB, and really solidify his slot at the top. And this is sort of the final push for our runners here to get something going. And White Hat actually goes for the classic strat here. I prefer this strat that White Hat is doing.
I'm a fan, because you usually are not going to die trying that one. You definitely can, but it's a lot safer.
Go for the classic jump over the guy, too. In this specific game, the Japanese version and the English version have no benefits over each other. It's roughly the exact same game except for the title screen and the credits. So really no worries there about version differences. It's whichever cart you prefer. Sometimes it's whether you have a Japanese console for other games and you just buy the Rockman cart, or in some of our cases, we just like the look of the title screen. The Japanese title screen is way cooler.
Okay, so White Hat is ahead of his PB pace. It's a 12:09.
Nice.
Oh, and for those asking, yeah, these are the 4 fastest players. These are the only 4 players in the world with a sub-19 time in this game. So you're seeing the best of the best. Now we get to see this Wily 1-zip. It's been really torturing our runners today.
White Hat's... Well, yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to jinx anything.
Okay.
He got it.
Wasted a couple beams, but got through.
The reason you don't use the select trick on Electman is that I believe it's roughly the same speed to just not, and it's pretty consistent to just go for the same strat every time where you maneuver him the same way. Might even be faster.
Yeah, the way the pause trick works, the reason why it works is that the boss's invincibility frames continue to tick while the game is paused. And so really by... Oh, man.
Oh,
That room is evil. But yeah, so basically the reason why you pause is you can freeze everything else except his invincibility frames, and you can leave the weapon in his hitbox, so as soon as you unpause, it'll damage him. But it doesn't actually make the invincibility frames go any faster. So if you can keep him in invincibility frames without pausing, it's actually a little better to do it that way. So you'll still do that in the cut and elect fights.
Yeah, hence why you don't do it in cut as well, as you've been seeing these runners do so frequently. Because you can get the bullets on Cutman each time his invincibility frames let out. So as long as you're consistent with that, it's more consistent than having, say, frame-perfect select tricking, which just isn't realistic. And White Hat's actually going to finish out the run.
It's always good to get the feeling of finishing the run. You know, saving the world and all that.
Plus 15. If he gets good Wily stages, there's a chance he could beat that 1907. It's slim, but it's possible.
Oh man, I'd like to see that. PB with a death, can you imagine? See how this goes. This Wily 2 climb is just really something else.
Oh man, he was so close to the top.
Yeah, like climbing a mountain and then just sliding down. Or the Greek tale of Sisyphus. Like push the rock all the way up and then it rolls all the way back down for eternity.
And sometimes you get in a... And he gets... If you don't get that initial push right at the beginning, it is... I think it's actually impossible if you end up getting the wrap and then you do that weird thing where Mega Man jumps up and down a bunch. We're going to switch over to Endy's stream now. He is coming, and he's through Iceman. So Endy has crushed the personal demon. Misses the second quarter zip, but not a huge deal. In that specific room, it doesn't... You're not going to really get hit by any enemies, so you're okay. Yo, okay, Rulius. Yeah, in that room, you've got a sort of time where you're using the elect beam. You want to use it while the blocks and enemies are all off screen. I'm assuming you're talking about Wily 1. You want to use it while the enemies and stuff are still off screen, so that you can reduce lag for as much as possible. But it's a little precise because you have to, while they're unloaded, you have to press it at a specific time so that they load and the beam hits it at the right moment, and the blocks go off screen, like the pieces of the blocks go off screen at the right time as well.
Alright, so we do have Endy and Fire. He's a little bit behind his PB pace, but as always, there's a lot of time to save as the run goes on, so just needs to step his game up. That's it. This game.
It is quite a video game.
It is such a game.
There are glitchless runs in this game, yes. Not super frequent, but it's still a competitive time. It's not as competitive as glitched, but it does exist, and it's still a cool run.
I mean, if you like...
man, you got the ladder grab.
Yeah, if you like speedruns and are just kind of put off by the idea of beating games with glitches, like pretty much any game has a glitchless has a glitchless category. And if not, just start running it glitchless.
Yeah.
There's enough people that enjoy
speedrunning is like, who cares? Do whatever you want.
Yeah. There's some games have like a dozen categories, and people run all of them. So yeah, if there's a particular way you like to play the game, play it that way.
Yeah.
Let someone try to challenge your time if they like playing it that way too.
XOSDA, I believe, like Baron is saying, has the world record in the glitchless category of this game, and it is quite impressive. It's not perfect, but there's a lot of stuff in there that is really insane. If I'm not mistaken, wait, do you... I can't remember when you grab Magnet. I think it's the natural route. Dexter's having a little trouble with that double zip, but Endy entering bomb here. Dexter getting an interesting setup from the water up into the wrap. That is really fascinating. I've not seen that.
So there exists both glitchless and zipless runs of this game, which you can find on the Mega Man leaderboards. They're not particularly active right now, but a lot of times all it takes to get a category active is for someone to be running it and then other people to follow suit. By the way, Cool Kid is the only one that goes for that that orb grab up top. Actually, I'm not even sure which one we're focused on right now. Yeah. It's
I
really
think we're in a
slight-
double right now between
Okay.
Andy and Dexter.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, both passed ice. That's good. This run can definitely be a nightmare to try to get out of ice, but once you do, things are...
Yeah, wait, I also go for that up top grab. What are you talking about, Fasta? Come on, man.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Nice.
I always thought it was faster, so I just went for it. I was like, it has to be faster. I'm higher in the air.
Yeah, right? Nice.
I also have a 1958, though, so... I'm
Hey,
a
19 is
minute behind.
19, although 18 is the new 19, so...
You beat my time. That blew my mind.
Oh, look at
I need to get good.
Cool Kid.
Oh, Cool Kid wiggled. What a god.
Sorry, it was probably tucked in the way, a corner of the stream somewhere, but he just cleared ice.
I don't think it was even on the stream, unfortunately. Oh, he has the glitched Fireman palette now, too.
So, just so everybody is aware, the category that these players are running is called any % all stages. You actually have to beat every stage to its completion because there's a credits warp in this game. There's actually, I think, a couple different credits warps. And then there's glitches that clear the stage without actually having to go and beat the boss and get the orbs. So that's the category they're running. So this is a glitchy run, but it's not as glitchy as it could be.
And you can see Cool Kid, all the tiles are messed up, and this is a result of the glitch he did in Iceman, which you unfortunately missed, but you can just assume I mean, he just beat the stage halfway through the stage. There's not a really great way to explain it. So it's a little tough if you don't know the game really well to know where you are, and he's going to go for the zip anyway, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so we have
don't know what
Andy
this
with
zip looks like.
Andy with a 12-16 out of Guts. So it'll take a lot for him to PB here. If I was in his position, I'd be kind of looking for an 18. Sometimes you kind of like readjust your goals as the run goes along. It's not
wondering. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it's not to say that he can't PB because he could, but it would require just ridiculous luck and execution.
If you're wondering how glitchy this game can be, you can trigger the credits from several different stages. Most notably, there has been a human run of arbitrary code execution in this game in Gutsman, which is still unbelievable to me. It's very, very difficult and a different category entirely. It requires 2 controllers, I think. And it has been done by a human, but the TAS of this game, the all stages TAS of this game is still unbelievable. They zip everywhere. And then the wiggle, the arbitrary code execution task is also very impressive. It's like a minute or something. Ridiculous. So as we're closing in here at the end, just a reminder that this is Chase for the record, and these 4 are playing for the world record, coming in here on the final minutes right now. And this is in hype for the AGDQ race. Awesome Games Done Quick is an event held by Speedruns Live and Speed Demos Archive, members of both of those communities. And that will be taking place this coming Sunday is when it begins. It is January 8th to the 15th. And it is a week-long speedrunning charity marathon, so be sure to tune in for that. It's very hype. And on Sunday night at 7:40 Eastern Time, these 4 guys will live be racing this game. And that, be sure not to miss that, because it is going to be insane. If you'd like to see that in your local time, go to gamesdonequick.com/schedule, and you will be able to see at what time in your local time that that is taking place. And then we have a community race after this, so if you are not done with the Mega Man, you can either watch or feel free to participate in our community race. You can race against these 4 gentlemen and a bunch of others. And so yeah, go to speedrunslive.com/channel for that. And sign up on the IRC, and you will be able to participate. So we're going to let these runners finish out their runs, and then I'm assuming after that we'll call it quits and head over to the community race. So If you don't feel like playing, but you still want to watch more Mega Man, no fear. These 4 will still be participating in that community race, and so this stream will stay up. And don't feel like you need to be a great speedrunner to participate in the community race. All skill levels are welcome. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so if you just want to play some Mega Man 1 with some cool people, then feel free to join. I love that Cool Kid is finishing this run with the glitch tiles. This will persist throughout every stage.
Yeah, it's just really weird seeing him like try to set up zips without the score at the top. I think we're solo Andy right now.
Oh, are we? Yeah, but you can still see the other 3 players.
Okay.
The only one where you can't is when they
go
to
is
double.
the double. Okay, gotcha. Get that 11:28 for Cool Kid.
With the glitch tile.
He skipped ice stage, but yeah.
So yeah, this if Cool Kid finishes this run, which honestly will be a miracle. Because it is so hard to do a lot of these tricks when you have no ground to look at. His time will not be, even if it beats his PB, it won't be an actual PB because he used a trick that saves a lot of time that is not allowed in this category. He's gonna go... Alright. Also, you have no health or weapon, like, tiles now. So, you just have to know how much you have left. And he has no idea if you got this. Okay.
He tried.
He was close. I think he's only 2 pixels off or something. Yo, is that Kezas? My god.
Taking a break from folding laundry to come join us.
That's a classic name right there. Back in the days when Nadua, Kezas, and I would race this game and get like 23s, and then Dunnius and Cool Kid would come in every once in a while.
Nice dupes for Andy.
Andy definitely going to finish here with a low 19 with a solid Mega Man 4.
And he's going to play with Mega Man 4 after this?
Did I say Mega Man 4?
Yeah.
I meant Wily 4. We've been talking for a long time.
That would be impressive, a low 19. If you played Mega Man 4 and played some Wily 4.
That would be very impressive. Substitute Wily 4 for the entirety of Mega Man 4. And he has just enough beams.
One day a category like that will exist.
Mega Man 1, but Wily 4 is replaced with Mega Man 4.
Right.
Memes. Yellow Devil looks rad with that tile set.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good Wily 4 for Andy. Gonna finish out with a solid time here.
And in a moment here, unfortunately, my co-commentator is going to have to hop off, so everybody give FastAtCC a follow for helping me commentate this. Pretty insane that we, got all these cool Mega Man people together, but definitely I'm going to go ahead and type that. Is that the... Maybe it's commentary? There we go. Yeah, give FastAtCC a follow. Very knowledgeable Mega Man runner and really solid, I believe, world record holder for Mega Man 3.
Yes, sir.
With a 34 flat.
Don't remind me.
You can do it. I believe in you.
This was a lot of fun. I want to thank Fiesel and Sinister for putting this together, for asking me to participate, and for Adef for sharing the mic with me. So thanks a lot. A lot of fun. I might actually participate in the Mega Man 1 race. I was gonna warm up Mega Man 3, but there's just too much hype for Mega Man 1 right now. So I'm gonna.
What? You're gonna hop off and participate? I want to participate.
Yeah. Well, sorry.
That's not fair. Alright, 1916 for ND. So really solid time. Low 19s like that are not common, so huge props.
GG,
and
Dandy.
Cool Kid is gonna try to finish out this glitch. I don't know how he's made it this far. He won't know where the bottom of the... That ladder grab. Well, that screen actually looks correct. Why do these screens look correct? Oh, that one's bad. Okay. Yeah, he was not going to go for that turnaround there. So it's just me now on the mic. Want to thank you all again for tuning in. Again, this is in prep for Games Done Quick. Feel free to go to gamesdonequick.com/schedule and find out when the live race of these 4 runners will be taking place. It is this coming Sunday night at 7:40 Eastern Time, and that will change a little bit based on how the other runs finish. But yeah, so now you get my lovely voice for a few minutes here. And then I believe Sinister will hop on the mic to commentate the community race with me, so that'll be pretty good. I notice you, Chelney. Hello, everybody. I am honestly amazed that Cool Kid is going to finish this with the tile. He has yet to die, and the entire bottom half of the screen is essentially just... Look at the garbage on this screen.
Hey, Def. I figured I'd jump in a little
Sinister?
early since we still have our 1 runner going. But yeah,
what's up,
great
man?
job so far, man. The commentary has been unbelievable, and
Thank you.
really appreciate it. Sorry you can't join the race, man. It's just
I'm a little upset, but also I don't want to embarrass myself. I haven't played in like several months, so now there is actually a way Cool Kid can check his weapon ammo on the title or when he presses pause, but his health is a mystery. He should still have full health. What are these dupes?
wow. Only Cool Kid, man. Only Cool Kid can pull off such madness.
The thing that I think people forget that honestly is probably one of the most impressive things to me in our AGDQ race, which I completely blundered, but that's besides the point. I look over at Iceman because I'm ahead of Cool Kid and Dexter coming out of Electman, and I'm super proud of myself. And then I look over, and I've never had a more diminishing moment than see Cool Kid go for triple candy and get it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a trick that like nobody ever gets, even when they're trying to get it, just resetting Iceman over and over and over again. It's complete luck. He gets it, and it blew my mind.
Yeah, pretty incredible that he would get that in such a critical moment, like at a GDQ.
He's a
That's
monster, dude.
Yeah, no question. I mean, just seeing him get so deep in so many runs. I mean, all the runners did a great job getting pretty deep in runs, but he, of course, had that one godly pace, and you guys were just shocked to see. I think everybody was shocked to see it.
I've never seen a run that good.
And he nails that last zip. Just too
I
easy
actually don't know
for
what
him,
this
man.
boss fight looks like with this. It looks like nothing, is the answer.
I'm sure he knows what to
nothing.
do.
There is nothing there.
I'm sure he's been here before.
Why is the screen moving? Oh, right, there's no background in this fight because the Wily machine is the background. It's not an actual actor, it's just the background with one little hitbox. I forgot about that. So when it moves, the entire background moves.
Oh, man. That is a sight to behold.
1848. You know, he beats his time by 2 seconds, but not a world record.
Unbelievable. Like, really? Seriously? 1848?
Or actually, no, he beats the previous world record by 2 seconds.
The previous record, yeah.
He's 3 seconds behind. Granted, he did a trick on Iceman that saves a lot of time, but he did bop Nadua's record in non-all stages. Or I don't know if that's a... Let me check the record on that.
Man.
Okay, what? Mega Man... So, it's... Wait, where... Do they not have this in here anymore?
Cool Kid is... He's just such a master.
He is. Look at the credits.
So I guess we're going to be setting up our community race. And
Fasta
just had to get in there.
He did! The credits are also a
back.
mess.
So yeah, great job by all our runners. They all did a fantastic job.
Definitely give all 4 of them a follow right now. They will be continuing on this stream for the community race, but definitely give them a follow. Also, the credits are just a complete mess.
Yeah, as you guys had mentioned, these guys will still be doing attempts, especially getting prepared for AGDQ, which is starting in a week.
That's unbelievable.
Less than a week. Yeah, it's already upon us. And this is like headlining the first night pretty much, this race. So it's gonna be in the spotlight, and these guys are used to the spotlight. They've been there before. I think White Hat is the only one that has not played in a live marathon race, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think he's played at a live marathon at all.
Okay, but he seems to be a pretty cool guy. Like in terms of, I don't see him getting too rattled. I think he'll be able to have pretty steady nerves, and he did put up a really good time today as well. I think Cool Kid is the first one that actually beat the time he put up earlier. Correct? White Hat, I believe, had the 1906?
1906, yeah, but Cool Kid used the wiggle in Iceman, so the time is not technically valid.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't realize that invalidated.
Yeah. That's why his time is so good. It would have actually been like low 19 without the trick, or actually maybe even higher than that.
So then is that like considered a separate category or what?
Yeah, when the trick was discovered, we left it in for a while and then made a category called any % all stages, which is what you're seeing all the runners do now.
I gotcha.
And then nobody does the wiggle anymore because a setup was found to get to the credits from Gutsman stage. And so now that's the faster version of the category, which included the wiggle. But there are only like 2 or 3 people who have ever even gotten the arbitrary code execution on Gutsman stage as a human being. I can actually check the leaderboards on that right now.
Right.
Megara claims a 312. No One claims a 353. Cortina with a 2217 and another runner with a 2713. I think those 2 are wiggles, maybe, and then the first 2 are arbitrary code execution.
All right, so someone's asking in chat. Nobody did beat the record tonight, but we definitely had several runs that were on pace. And kind of the idea behind this is that you'll get to see that excitement. Whereas if you're just watching one person's stream, then generally you're going to see a lot of Cutman. And with as much Cutman as we did see today, we certainly got out of Cutman quite a bit too. So it's kind of just a different take on watching world record attempts, and something that we thought would be pretty fun for viewers. So we set it up, and thankfully these 4 guys were willing to participate. And Feasel doing a great job, of course, managing the stream and switching all the layouts around as we go to kind of focus on the different runners. If you guys think of any other games that would be good for this format, that have really tight competition at the top with a lot of good players in it, then please let us know. As the commentators mentioned earlier, we are going to be doing a similar thing with Super Mario World 96 exits after AGDQ, and hopefully we can find more. It's always nice to highlight the high level competition that happens in speedrunning. It's when I was speedrunning back in the day, like Batman was a game that had a lot of competition in it, and seeing people go back and forth. Dexter, in fact, was one of the people that was going back and forth with Funk Doc.
Funk Doc! I forgot about Funk Doc.
Yeah, that's kind of like where I think that was one of the first really mainstream competitions, where it was like 2 people going back and forth on a classic game. You like
were
this
in there
anyway,
too,
but I was never competing really for the record. I think I raced with them and stuff, but I don't think I ever had gotten to that level. So, but yeah, it's amazing to see it in a game like this in Mega Man, and hopefully we see it in some of the other Mega Man games. Although it seems like one person will get on the grind in a Mega Man game, and then there's not anybody that's closer. There's maybe only one other person that's close. But it's unusual to have 4 people. So
also, the Speedruns Live race has 16 entrants. Could be 17 if I didn't have to commentate, but that's fine. Oh, they just started.
Oh, nice. So we brought Fast at CC in. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull him up so we can see what he's doing here.
I can send the changed.
Yeah, just send the updated multi-twitch, however you want to do it. So we're looking at the same thing.
There you go. And I just toggled chat in order to make it go a little faster. All right, so starting off on the community race here, we've replaced Dexter with Fast at CC. My co-commentator from before, I think Dexter had to hop off. So definitely give Dexter a follow, as he is no longer able to race with us, but you will see him at Games Done Quick on Sunday. So hopping in here again, we're starting with Cutman. I think we'll just go over the basics again, like we did in the previous race. So starting with Cutman, because we're able to get the Magnet Beam early in Elecman, so we do that stage second. So we need Cutman's weakness to fight Elecman, because Elecman Buster only is a very difficult and long fight. So that's why we start with Cuts.
So why don't we talk a little bit about Fast at CC too, because he was on commentary earlier, and now you guys are getting to see him play. He's got some pretty good experience in this game, and he did recently play in and I believe win the 46 Robot Masters tournament.
He did. So he's recently new, competitively speaking, to this game. But he is a currently world record holder in Mega Man 3 pretty solidly. And he did win the 46 Robos tournament, and that's sort of, to be that good at 46 Robot Masters, you've got to be good at all the games. Oh, he took second.
Okay,
be
sorry.
Good at all 6 classics. And so he sort of, got good at Mega Man 1, and then as a result started doing PB attempts and wound up with a 1947, which is a very solid time.
Right, there's not a lot of people that are sub 20, is that correct?
Yeah, I can check. I'm sub 20, so, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Man, you are one of the few. I mean, obviously we had the 4 guys on that are sub 19, but it's still there's such a gap between, even just to go another minute, it's still very, very hard to get that optimized in this game, which I think is incredible.
Yeah, so Nero X2 won the 46 Robos tournament.
Okay, that's right.
Onsen and myself are tied at the highest 19s, and we're both at 16th. So there are 17 players who have sub 20, and there are 4 players with sub 19.
Right, and then on that leaderboard altogether, I'm sure there's at least like 50 people or something like that, or probably more than that.
I think there's like 70 or something like that.
Yeah, so it just goes to show the level of competition for this game, which is fantastic. I remember really before people were doing zips in this game, I want to say there was a guy, was it Trevor Seguin maybe? Or was
Trevor Seguin played this, and so did Seth Glass.
Okay.
Trevor Seguin did pretty much zipless, and his time was really good. And then Seth Glass jumped in with the zips and got a crazy low 20 with strats that people would shudder at trying now.
Right.
That I remember one of my first goals was to beat Seth Glass's time, because even though we have new tricks now, Seth Glass went for some crazy stuff because other stuff hadn't been discovered yet.
Sure.
And then after Seth Glass, the runners pioneering zips were like Dunnius, and then after that, Cool Kid.
All right, so it looks like our guys are coming up to the first major trick of the run here, right? So whoever gets it first could potentially take a decent lead.
Yeah, for sure. Seth Glass has a 2022 Darkwing Duck.
All right, looks like Andy has got it. Very
Yeah,
nicely
Andy-
done by Andy.
Andy definitely going chill there so as not to get soft locked.
And White Hat as well.
Cool Kid also out.
Yeah.
Fast at CC coming up here. A little out of practice. We'll see. Oh, he gets it. Stream frozen. Faster net. And he gets the top exit. Fast at CC, the only player of our
Wow.
4 to get top exit.
Very impressive. No wonder he wanted to get in on this thing, man. He was ready to show off.
He's been secretly practicing. That whole time he was just
Yes, he was-
thinking about Mega Man 1.
He was practicing and doing commentary at the same time because he is literally that good.
Now with the fast internet, he doesn't need to worry about it.
Right, so we see in the race setting, Andy is foregoing that damage right before the final corridor there, and I guess all the players are doing that. No reason to take a death here.
And of our players, actually, Andy is ahead of his PB. I think the only person we're showcasing
is.
right now who is.
Well, we'll see what White Hat's split is. He's pretty close as well. But yeah, Andy's gonna fall just behind his PB pace. And yeah, White Hat is a little bit behind as well, but still a pretty close race this early on. So all the players are doing pretty well.
And in this kind of setting, you're more so, once you get out of the first 2 stages and you recognize you might not be having the best run, it's more about consistency. You're looking for, okay, what can I do that's consistent and still pretty quick?
So who do you feel was kind of having the best consistency today during the streams?
So I felt like Endy actually pulled through a lot of really good runs up through like Alec and Ice, and I think was most consistently at Iceman. So I think in the Robot Masters we were seeing a lot of consistency from Endy. White Hat's the only runner who finished several runs. I think he finished 2.
Right.
And he had the fastest time of the day at 1906 or 1907. But at the end of the day, I mean, Cool Kid really had the most runs to Wily that were really fast. And Cool Kid, I believe, is on world record pace into Wily stages 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, pretty absurd. Pretty absurd as we see.
One of which being the fastest time to get to Wily in maybe ever. And Endy definitely going for safer strats here, and Iceman is giving a little bit of trouble in the races before, or the attempts rather, but clearing it nonetheless.
Yeah, he looks like he's through, and Cool Kid not too far behind him. Nor is White Hat. So all these guys doing pretty well here. Looks like Fast had a little bit of a struggle in Alec. That's why he's kind of further behind. So I think it looks like Cool Kid's actually, is he in the lead right now? My streams are not exactly synced up. So
just by a little bit.
He's just barely ahead.
He also had the 50k, which gives him a little bit of an up, about like probably 40 frames over Endy, which always helps. Then he pulls another 50 on Fireman. Unbelievable.
50s all day, man. How's this happen?
Cool Kid gonna save beams there. He used 2 on the entrance, so he's gonna go ahead and forego that short little zip. Sometimes missing that zip is it doesn't even save that much time, but missing it creates a lot of lag on that first screen. That little corridor.
I think it'll be
pretty solid Fireman here.
Yeah, really, really nice by Endy, and I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of what strategic variations these guys take in the actual AGDQ race compared to like doing this. This is kind of like the fun and games race right now. I mean, you know they all want to win, but what's going to be different come Sunday?
And it also depends on experience too, right? Like, do you feel comfortable going for just safe strats, or are you comfortable, like Cool Kid is, gonna go for only stupid stuff?
Yeah.
Cool Kid. And he just has that mentality.
Right. Cool Kid's he either wants, he's go big or go home, right? He's either gonna win it in amazing fashion or just have something tragic happen.
Like in the practice room before runs, you see like myself and Dexter maybe we're practicing block dupes or zips. Cool Kid's over there like just doing triple candy because it's Cool Kid.
Well, hey, his practice paid off, man.
It did. It really did.
So if you guys have decided that that is a separate category, then nobody would be able to do triple candy in the race this time around.
Triple candy is not an issue. Triple candy just like swaps some of the elements in Iceman for Wily 3. Nobody does it anyway because it's slower. The trick that's banned is the wiggle.
Okay, that's what he did the first time. I apologize.
Yeah. So triple candy is a very specific application of manipulating the game's memory, which I think we just allow because it doesn't really save anything and it just looks rad. So if you have a really bad run, you might go for it.
Okay.
But wiggle is not allowed.
All right, coming up on a critical zip here, both Endy and Cool Kid.
Yes, wiggle is arbitrary code execution. And so is triple candy, but again, it doesn't save any time, and it's just for swag. Yeah, you're manipulating the game's memory in specific ways.
Alright, Cool Kid's in there. And so is Endy.
Both not on terrific pace, but still very solid runs. I mean, Cool Kid's gonna come in here somewhere like 10-20 something.
Yeah, it looks like White Hat not too far behind either.
Yeah, 10-23 for Cool Kid, very solid.
And Andy with about a 1031.
Yes.
But like you've mentioned all stream long, Wily 2 can be the big game changer, so
It is the equalizer.
we're going to have to see what happens once we get to that point.
So Gutsman has been an interesting run killer for some of our players today, so I'm interested to see how this screen goes. Cool Kid clearing it, no problem. Andy as well. So it really depends on how those Mets treat you at the very beginning. That sort of determines the global timer you're on. Okay, so it's going to come down to corridor zips here, who pulls ahead in Gutsman. If one of them gets both and the other gets neither, that's going to change it up a bit. But Andy and Cool Kid really close here.
Yeah, looks like no first zip for Cool Kid.
Andy got one.
Okay, so
Got hit by cement.
Andy picked up a little bit of time.
Yeah, they're about the same here.
So it looks like, I believe that Cool Kid still has maybe about a 6-second lead as of the door.
And Cool Kid got a little bit more of a beneficial pattern.
Yeah, he's really been getting the good patterns today, hasn't he?
He has. When Gutsman just stays in place like that, it's much more beneficial. Yo,
So
fast as CC with the first zip. The guy's just like hiding strats from us.
All right, here we go. Wily 1. That Wily 1 zip has been pretty tough on players today, I gotta say.
It's a very hard zip.
And as you mentioned earlier, all the zips being pixel perfect, not really having a good visual cue can make it just that much tougher, right?
Yeah, this one in specific. You have to place so many beams. Neither player gets it. They're both 1 pixel too high, I think.
So that gives White Hat a small opportunity to catch up a little bit, as he is also in Wily 1. Fast at CC entering Wily 1 as well.
And White Hat gets the zip, so now they're all tied.
Nice.
Essentially.
Very nicely done by White Hat.
That saves 10 seconds.
He's been kind of Mr. Consistency so far today, I think.
I think to your previous question, I think I would have to go White Hat. I mean, with that finish in 1907, and with the fact that, like, I mean, he doesn't really miss a lot of these tricks very often. And wait, is that Fast at CC also gets the zip?
Oh, man.
Oh, White Hat has 1 health going into the Yellow Devil fight. And Fast at CC falls down from the jumpers. Get the zip, miss the easy stuff.
Alright, so it looks like Cool Kid's still maintaining a pretty solid lead to this point, but we are coming up on Wily 2, so that could change things quite a bit.
And I wouldn't be surprised if all 4, including Fast, go for it. Just, I don't know if Fast knows it, but it might just be for fun.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're watching each other's streams or anything like that.
Andy and Cool Kid, about, I'd say like 7 or 8 seconds behind, or Andy's probably 7 seconds behind.
And White Hat did survive, thankfully. We saw Cool Kid take a hit there, so you could see that, you know, there was a chance that White Hat wasn't going to survive that fight, but he does.
And White Hat's only about 4 seconds behind Andy as well. I'm going based off their splits on their individual streams.
Right. All right, well, here we go. This is the fun part.
Here we go. No big jugs. 1 drop for White Hat. He forgoes it, though. Oh, Andy's not going to go for the zips.
He is not, but Cool Kid, of course.
Gets it first try.
And yeah, why not, you know?
That was unbelievable.
Well, there's no pressure, you know. He's not like, it's not like he's on world record pace, so, you know, when there's no pressure, he can just get it first try every time.
Right.
Having a little bit more of a struggle this second go around, but
he keeps getting that top one and then falling back down. Oh, man. So this is what happens, you know, you get the first one first try, and he's now, like, essentially, what is that, 15, 26? He's still about 5 seconds ahead of Endy.
Yeah, he's still maintaining his lead, even though he took so long with that second one. I guess it was basically a push at that point, but you know, he had the opportunity to gain significantly more time. And the other players, I don't think they wanted to get too crazy there.
Did White Hat go for it? I didn't see.
I was not paying attention, but I don't think he did, and I think Fast is also going to take a pass.
Yeah, I can't imagine Fast would go for it. Does do a very unconventional strat on Electman there, though.
So a little bit over a 10-second lead for Cool Kid at this point. What would need to happen for Endy for him to be able to come back and overtake Cool Kid here?
Assuming everybody gets the zips, if Cool Kid misses maybe a block dupe or two and Endy gets them, that would change it.
Yeah, that's right. We have block dupes coming up. That is a pretty important one. And White Hat, he's still in it too, and that's for him. It's the easiest trick in the game, right? So we know he's going to get it.
Block dupes for him are like riding a bike. He does not miss those. And Cool Kid again foregoing the setup. Still gets the perfect placement though. So Endy gets it for free, and Cool Kid gets both.
Wow.
And Endy gets the setup for the second beam as well. There are setups to get both of those by buffering the input. You just have to drop from a certain height. So they're not free, but once you get the turnaround at the right spot, it is. Cool Kid forewent both of them.
Alright, let's see who's got the dupes.
Cool Kid having a really rough machine fight.
Yeah.
Or Bubble Guy, I don't even know what... He has a name.
Oh, getting a couple key dupes here at the end, but he's going to be down to his last block if he misses.
He got him.
And of course he did, because he's Cool Kid.
And Endy also got them all. White Hat missed one.
No, we commentators cursed him, man.
I shouldn't have said anything.
I said it too. We both did it.
He missed one. And Fast gets all the zips.
Really well played by everybody so far, I have to say. Alright, so we're heading into the final stretch here. So this zip here, I guess, we've seen people struggle with this zip before. Cool Kid gets it easily.
Endy also gets it second try, which is not a big problem. You get a lot of ammo there. Endy and Cool Kid both going for that new zip there in that second to last room, which is so bewildering that that's in the meta now.
And it looks like Cool Kid is going to put this one on ice, as he does indeed get the final zip there.
Oh no! Fast had safe states turned on his EverDrive. He pressed B and select.
Oh no. Well,
oh my god.
I guess that's going to be a forfeit for Fast, unfortunately.
I don't know why he pressed select. You can't use select trick on the guy like that.
Oh man.
It'll be clutch between Endy and Cool Kid here though.
Yeah, Cool Kid about to finish up here. He's gonna get a low 19. And it looks like Endy's gonna get more of a mid 19, so Cool Kid.
1909 for Cool Kid, still not better than White Hat's 1907, which is the fastest of the day. Endy 1921, White Hat 1928. GG, all really good times. If we get a race like that at AGDQ.
Yeah, sub 1930 all around for those guys. That's pretty incredible stuff. And it looks like Fiesel's bringing in Chelny, I believe.
Yeah, he's going to bring in a few different runners to see what we can do here.
See how things go for him.
Really, really phenomenal showing. If we get a race like that between our four at GDQ, that would be great. Any sub-20s are welcome at that event. So.
Well, I think we can say that these guys are ready for AGDQ.
I think they are. I think they're ready. And I'm ready to commentate too. I'm glad I had this opportunity to sort of like get all the kinks out so that I can operate properly.
Nice warm-up.
Yes, exactly. For everybody.
And just as a reminder, there is going to be more Mega Man goodness after this. I believe there's going to be some Mega Man 3 races, correct?
Yes, Mega Man 3 community races after this, which Facet CC will also be participating in, and he's
Yes.
currently the Mega Man 3 world record holder, so...
Yes, he will be playing in those, and there's, of course, the upcoming Mega Man 3 tournament. Mega Man X2 going to be another tournament. Both of those will be kicking off after AGDQ ends, and there will be some Get Yourself speedrunning events as well. I don't think the games have been announced yet. Maybe they have been, but...
I don't recall.
Yeah, so I don't know. If somebody in the chat knows what the games are, they can go ahead and say what that is. But yeah, a lot of great tournaments coming up, a lot of great competition, and of course it's all going to get really started and hype with AGDQ starting pretty soon. So
I'm really excited for AGDQ. All right, well, if it's all the same to you, I might hop off here.
Yeah, I think we're pretty close to the end here in terms of switching over. I'm just waiting for Fiesel to let us know if we're gonna switch over to Mega Man 3 here. But yeah, this has been Chase for the Record, and if you guys have any other games that you think would be a good fit for this kind of show that would be entertaining for viewers to watch, please let me or Fiesel know.
Yeah, and thank you for the opportunity to commentate this. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Really
yeah,
great
no problem.
stuff.
Absolutely.
Really enjoyed it.
All right, I will catch you later, Sinister. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the Mega Man 1 races, attempts, and commentary. Catch you later.